What is going on, guys? I know I got Crispy and Robert out there. Can y'all hear me? Uh-oh. Hold on, guys. I left the Apple TV on. Fuck. Hi, YouTube. How is everyone? I was going to start off before bringing my brother Pocket Metal on with a little public service announcement. So, if during Nas Live, JuhVon offends you, I'm never piling on people, other channels. If I do it, it's in fun or it's in my observations. So I never want anyone to think that I'm not doing anything outside of just having conversations with people that are on the panel that, you know, if it barks, it's a dog, right? I'm not going to go there. If I do get pulled there, I'm not going to hide from it. But I never want to offend anyone. I never want people to think that I'm a dog piler, that I'm a bully, that I'm this or that. I lead with love, choose debate, not hate. I will never say anything here that I would not say to somebody at Blade Show to their face. Yes, I think you are a fucking shill. Sorry, no offense. But now that that's over, I'm going to bring on my brother Pocket Metal, and we are going to get started with Friday Night Flicks. I'm glad everybody is here. I'm glad to see you, Joe Isabel, Josh Worth, Crispy Critter, all you guys, Robert Douglas. You guys have all been in there for a while. Pretty Fly for a Knife Guy, Sharp Guy. We got Blade Ogre. We got Hey Man. We got Piper. We got Z-Man. We got just a bunch of you guys. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys' support. What is up, Dark Gravity? I can't call you Dick Winkle. That'll drive me crazy, and by the end of the night, I'll be calling you Dick Winkle. What's up, Pocket Metal?
Not much. At first, I thought your beginning there was like a precursor because I'm coming on, and I've probably definitely offended a fuckload of people.
No. This is in response to, I would consider this a brother who reached out, who I did not know before these interactions, and I feel very, very close to him. And he made some really good points. That's the last thing I want to do. Huh? No, I don't know. I just don't want, if I'm picking on somebody or I'm pointing out somebody's what I feel like are obvious flaws, I've got to take into consideration that those people also have fans and people that are friends of theirs, just like I'd feel if somebody was talking about one of you guys, right? So I totally get it. And when I do it, it's all in fun. Or it's the way I feel. And, fuck it. That's just the way it is. It's not all wonderful, but I want it to be as wonderful as possible. And I never want to offend anybody. I never want, and what this person and I started talking about was the way I came into the community through a lot of Grateful Panics lives. It was almost like a therapy session. I never want, because this person was also apologizing for things they said in the chat that with me and my ADHD, I never saw. So, but I don't want anybody to ever feel like they can't say what they want to say, and if it's out of reason, somebody will say something. But if, say what you want to say. The place that I want to create is a place that's safe, where people can talk about anything, whether it's knives or whether it's something that they're going through. I can't jump in there and fix anything, but we can definitely be ears. So, right. I just wanted to kind of set the water straight, kind of level set, because I'll be level setting a lot here because I'm learning this shit every single day. So how was y'all's week?
Same bullshit, different week.
How about you, Dark?
Nothing really spectacular. We had an outage this week, so it's been fun.
Yeah, mine was excruciating, but I'm so glad it's over. I'm glad it's Friday night. I'm glad all you guys are here. Joe Isabella, it's good to see you, brother. Y'all are all greeting each other. I love to see that. Demonoc, how are you, my man? Pretty Fly, how are you? I'm sitting here playing with what I would, in my unboxing, tell you guys is a titanium pyrite. But right now, there's been a mystery behind this knife, and I'm not sure if it's a titanium pyrite.
They only have the titanium one in one seller, right? Doesn't only one company have
Atlantic.
Okay.
But, and I'm thinking what happened is this is a version 1, because basically I would consider these titanium skins as opposed to titanium scales. Does that make sense? They sit proud of the liners, the steel liners. And I know with the button lock, Lefty made a really good point. I'm going to make myself big for a second. And when I was showing this off in one of the YouTube groups on
he did the exact opposite. He removed himself.
All right, guys. Full disclosure, I'm a freaking idiot. But let's do this.
The opposite button right there.
All right. See these.
Get rid of that comment so we can see you better.
Oh, yeah, my bad. See,
Dang, Ross.
This stuff. All right.
There you go.
So this is the titanium pyrite. I love this knife. I love the titanium, and I wondered. The only thing I thought that would be better is the steel liners are thicker than the skins / scales that are sitting proud on top of it. Can y'all see that right there?
I can, kind of.
I can
usually
back it up a little bit. You might be able to see it better. You can kind of see the line.
Yeah.
So it's literally just sandwiched on top of there without saying, to me it seems like it was a steel pyrite, which I know it wasn't. It's a liner, but it's stuck on top of there. And Lefty made a really good point that most button locks do have to have steel liners for stability. But then Jody, the one who pointed it out to me, he sent at Big Red, sent a picture and said, "Is yours look like picture A or picture B?" It was really easy to look at, right? So I was like, mine looks like, picture A. And he goes, well, that's just like such and such who got one. Theirs looks like. He goes, I got one from Artisan Cutlery, which is CJRB, and it's picture B, which had no seam. It was like my...
Isn't that the same thing that TRM does, though?
No. Yeah, I'll show you TRM. It's a titanium liner. But no, with their titanium, this is an Asher knife.
Right. Is
so
that countersunk
any steel is countersunk. And I've got a
nice.
Flashlight, but it'd be a pain in the ass for you to see. But compared to that, and again, this is a more expensive knife than this is, right? By about $30. But this knife is a lot heavier than this knife, or this knife is heavier than this knife in a big way. So I don't know. First of all, I don't know why Jody's at Big Red's would look like my Asher when somebody else complained and wondered. So I did the magnet test. And of course, on the magnet test, you're going to pull the liner through a scale that's that thin. So I'm going to have to take this apart, which depending on how bad the pivot is, I can do it from that side and not get into the button and see if that's a titanium scale with the magnet. Simple fix. But my question is this a version 1? And then the one that Jody got directly from Artisan Cutlery is what the version 2 is going to be. I just want to be accurate in my review. For the 30 people that watch it, I want them to know that it's what it is, right?
I'd message Artisan.
Look who's joining us. I was so hoping he was.
Welcome,
brother.
Ask them if there's two different.
I've reached out to Atlantic Knives, who wouldn't know. And I said, I've sent them pictures, told them my quandary, how I want to make sure that in my review I'm accurate to what I'm reviewing. No hard feelings. We can make that part of it right. But looking at the colorway of this, I do think it's a titanium skin on top of the titanium knife. And that's why I commented on the version 2 of this, telling people don't rush out and buy a steel one if you like titanium, because this was just released last week. Well, if Big Red has gotten one from Artisan that has real titanium scales, that's even more exciting to me. I just want to be able to either not talk about that or make sure that what I'm representing is what it's supposed to be, right? Because this is a great knife. I brought it in just for the purpose of review.
Pyrite, who knows what the fuck version.
No, it's titanium until I know otherwise, but I do think through deductive
You could take it apart and see if that outer piece is titanium.
That's all I've got to do, but that's a pain in the ass for me. I mean, I'll do that at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'll film it, and it'll be
and it's
something.
Doom. He'll take it apart.
Doom, I'm digging the hat, brother. And your beard picture today was epic.
Thank you.
You look more lion-esque than ever. I don't know if y'all saw that picture on Instagram.
It's pretty much this right here.
I just looked at the hand because that's what he was talking about.
You went a little bit. You went a little bit pixelated, Dark Gravity, for the first time ever.
I've probably got too much shit going on the Wi-Fi.
No, you're fine. You sound good. As long as your sound's good and you feel good, that's all that matters. We're not looking for anything around here. So I need to get over here to the chat, and I need to say hey to people. See, I'm so bad about just totally not welcoming people, not being...
That's why I just started highlighting people. And so that way they know that at least you saw that they were like there.
Urban Woodsman, great seeing you, brother. Joe Isabella, channel member. Urban Woodsman is a channel member. Ed, great to see you, buddy. Channel member. Joe Isabella again, pretty fly for a knife guy. Urban Woodsman, I'm just going down hitting people. Louie, my man. Bearded Doom, brand new American. Good to see you, buddy. Making sure every time I read one of these comments that I haven't offended somebody. Since I'm so grass that way.
You're such an asshole.
Hey, man.
You see, I got my,
what's that?
I got my baby back from Jason.
Ooh. Have you gotten your one back from Cole yet?
That's it. This is it. It went.
Oh, that's it. That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
From Cole to Jason Grant, and then finally back to me.
Well, I've got to apologize to you in person because while you were riding motorcycles, I should have been mailing Jason's knife, but he doesn't send anything in a pouch. And I feel really guilty wrapping it in a towel and putting it in a box. So I found it in a pouch, had it ready to go. That's not an excuse, but it didn't go last week. And then I was on the road all week for work. So it will go out to you tomorrow.
I have so many things recorded at this point. I was dropping things like 1 a day, 2 a days for a while. But now I put something out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then occasionally if I decide I'm going to go live, I go live. I'm not in any kind of crunch to get the video. I am just going to sit on it for a while, though.
Well, that's the one I know you've been
and
excited
then when Jason says, hey, man, have you sent that back? I'm going to wait another week and then be like, yeah, it's on the way.
I told him that
and then another week later, he's going to be like, hey, have you sent that? I'm going to be like, yep, it's on the way. And I'll be like, hey, you remember that catastrophe of mine you had?
I'll tell y'all something funny. Remind me to tell you something funny about the Apex group in a second. But Jason will be joining us later to show us what's been going on and to say hey. And I told him you were coming on, and he was definitely going to jump in.
Nice. I don't need those glasses. Those glasses
Dr. Drew, dude, I think it was a good look. It was a good look. I don't know if y'all ever watched Tim Dillon, and that'll probably make half the people hate me, but Tim Dillon's a hilarious comedian. I watch him just for entertainment purposes, but he wears these really ostentatious, well, I would call them Elton John glasses. I think they're great.
I got a pair here that I wear with my fedoras. These are the ones that I wear when I wear my fedoras. My rose chrome aviators.
I like them. I like them. But Dr. Drew, dude, good to see you, my man. Dang Ross, always a pleasure, my friend. There's Urban Woodsman again, but I'm going to highlight him because he's saying hey to Brand New American and Crispy Critter. There's Bod, Lord Needham, the best poster on Instagram, among one of the finest, much better than Cole at Tri-State EDC. I think if anyone should give lessons on people's Instagram posts or do Instagram shaming, it should be Lord. But anyway, I digress. And that'll be considered dogpiling, and I'm sorry, but Cole needs it. His head's getting way too big. Robert Douglas, and I say that with love.
If you start this shit about worrying about what people think and what people say and what people send you in a fucking email, I'm gonna beat your little ass. Don't worry about that shit. Just be.
I don't worry, man. It's not that. It's just I feel like in political correctness and in all truth, because not everybody knows that I have relationships with these people that are very affectionate. So if they were in the chat or I was saying it to their face, it would be understood. But to somebody who doesn't know how that relationship is, it could be misconstrued as me just being a sneaky go around the court to fuck with somebody. I just don't want to be no, but it's just an easy little disclaimer to say, to basically go, if I was in their face.
If you start being PC, then you got to get rid of all three of us.
I'm not talking about that.
Bro, I thought you were buying a microphone, man. You sound like you're talking underwater.
He's talking to his phone.
A week or so ago, he said he was waiting on a microphone.
He's having Amazon issues. He always has Amazon issues, but I don't think he knows how to order something that's close by. And he has something so specific that he's looking for to interface with his phone. Am I correct, Dark Gravity? Or
I have to use a specific type of microphone and ordered one, and it ain't showed up. And frankly, I don't care. I just want be in the chat.
No, you sound clear. You sound clear when you're.
Whoa, holy crap!
You'll come back. That's just Dark Gravity. You sound clear, buddy, when you sit and face that. Come back in the chat.
He sounded like he was talking to
anyways.
Anyway, I asked him about his microphone that he told us that he had ordered last time, and I thought, whatever.
That's talking about PSA. See, everyone is different, and everyone's going to agree to disagree, and he will come back. He's got the link. I'm trying to think. Scotch and Things is not going to be able to join us tonight. He had family stuff, which family's always first. Take care of that stuff. One Moon, channel member, good to see you, brother. Let's go over to the chat for a second.
I think it's more his Wi-Fi tonight was because you could. I mean, how unclear he was. It's
it sounded
like robotic.
Yeah,
it's gargling him.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Were y'all watching Lefty last night with Crazy K? The comments that were coming up with that?
No.
She was having issues with her video. Her audio is fine, but her video is coming out, and some of the comments were hilarious. Like, hey, y'all lay off, because somebody said Commodore 64? ? And then somebody said, hey, lay off. She's risking her life by getting on YouTube over in China. And it was just like all kinds of these just barrage of comments. And she's an actual good sport. I wasn't there for the content as much as I was for the people, like always. But it was, she's a good sport. She's going to be at Blade Show, and I look forward to meeting her. Carco channel member, hey man, how are you guys? Dr. Drew Dude, Lord Needham, Robert Douglas, Demonoc, I think I've hit everybody, but no, y'all are all.
She's with Kaiser, right?
She's with Kaiser, and what was interesting is VooFam was in the chat the whole time, and Bees was in the chat the whole time, and Bees, evidently, she could not get on to the link that Lefty had provided her. Bees had to call Lefty and let him know because Lefty was just doing his thing, right? And got her in there. And but I just don't understand how that relationships works anymore, because Sharif was in there talking about his relationship with Kaiser, not in the video part of the chat, but just in the comments. And VooFam was in there knowing a lot of answers that people were question, and and asking questions. He was being real good to answer them. But he's not associated with them anymore at all, right? VooFam? I don't think he is.
The reason I asked is because wasn't Lefty at one point saying that people need to stop being poor and get more money and buy more expensive knives? So why the hell is he fucking chilling for Kaiser?
No, when did he say that? I've never heard him say anything that unless he was saying it jokingly.
Whatever. There's
I never saw him say anything like that, but that doesn't mean he didn't say it. I'm sure
it was like a year ago or so he said that.
Well, it was definitely planned because he did an unboxing last night, and keep in mind, Bees was in the audience, VooFam was in the audience. I'm trying to think of anybody else. Sharif, but I think he was just there because Sharif's, one of us. He just happens to design for a lot of people. But there was a big unboxing where Lefty had a big package from Kaiser. So I don't know how all that works. But yes, it was definitely a planned deal. And there was some, in all truth, when I first got into collecting, the first knives that I bought that I would consider that are high-end knives were Kaisers that I got from Knife Center that were on sale. That's where I would go. We all look at knife pages probably every morning unhelpfully when we're having our coffee, right, to see what dropped. And I would always go to Knife Center as one of my sites, and I'd look at on sale, and that's where I would pick off, like Beard, the Isham Theta. I picked it off early for like $125. Picked off several that they dropped down. That gun hammer I picked up for like $160, well under $200, but which is what it sells for. Over that, I think.
Yeah, I'm still looking for the recurve gun hammer.
But the recurve gun hammer, I've got it.
You've got the recurved one?
Is it different than the? I think mine has a recurve in it. Is it a different model? Let me grab it real quick.
I think you have like the drop point version. There's another one that has kind of like a recurve Tonto with a bunch of holes drilled in the blade.
No, that's not mine. But mine does have a recurve in the blade because I don't want to put it on the stone. It's one of those. Because if you ever see anything that I've got, I'll make it available to you at a very bro deal. Because there's some knives I'll never let go because I love them. But that's one that I'd love to have it in my collection. But if somebody like you enjoyed it more, just hit me up.
Yeah, no, there's a very specific one that I'm looking for. If I can find it, I'd rather have the actual full custom one, which is they usually go for about $800 to $900 on the secondary, but they pop up very, very rarely.
Can you really grab them for under a grand?
I've seen the full customs. Yeah. That's awesome. Now I don't know. It's the last time I saw one pop up and vanish in about a half a second. It went for about 900.
Yeah. I still don't have a full custom yet. Carco, howdy, brother. Howdy, Kelly Weaver, channel member, brand new American. Hopefully you'll make it to Atlanta, my man. Who else we got in here? I'm just going to go down to the beginning of the chats. Mr. Salt, I'm not pronouncing your name right either. I'm trying to think how.
Someone put it in mine, like how to say it, and I can't fucking remember now.
I'm auf Deutsch, and I don't know if that is a.
It was like a 2-syllable type scenario. I can't remember how it goes though.
Monsieur Salt. But anyway, great to see you, man. I appreciate you as always, all you guys. Glad you're all here, and hopefully we can be entertaining and just have a good time talking about what's up.
Hey, Dark Gravity, just as like a funny aside about your internet sucking ass tonight, one of the best like numbers wise live streams that I did, I wasn't even in it because I kept fucking cutting out. I tried to
Dark Gravity, come back. Like, you are not sucking at all.
Pocket Metal. What was great is right there.
Come back up here, brother.
You were talking, you were like about your internet sucking, and right as you said internet sucking, your voice went all robot as your internet started crapping out.
Dude, it happens. Comcast or Xfinity so much, it's ridiculous. Like before I jumped on tonight, I shut down my other computer, tried to make sure there was nothing else on this computer running. But yeah, it just hits, off and on sometimes. Can't fucking win.
Brand New Americans right, Gravity. Come back. We're not here for your technical expertise. We're here for your knowledge and your smiling, knowing face.
Oh, Kyle.
I'm gonna have to get you not so self-conscious. You were just giving me a speech about not letting emails get to me, and then you bounced on us. You've got to come back, brother.
I forgot to tag Kyle.
I didn't mean to fire you up like that. I didn't realize people have been getting on you, and I was just going based off of what we had talked about 2 weeks ago, the last time we were on the live, and you were like, I'm out. I was like,
Bod's never gonna. Well, hey man, I've been in that too. When I can remember a long time ago when I was in college taking a class called Psychology of Adjustment, which was one of my majors, psychology, and I thought it was a great class because it made me realize that person that you're walking down the hall that's being an asshole to you every day. Put yourself in their shoes, and you don't understand that maybe they're abused. They have all this going on. It doesn't make them being an asshole, right? But it's just a way to look at people and experiences that you have every day that maybe it's not the person that's jumping out because they're frustrated. Maybe it's other things that are kind of weighing on the complexity of that day, right?
JuhVon, are you calling me an asshole?
No, no, dude. I wrapped you in warm fuzzy before I even went there.
Will someone tell me what the hell Crispy is saying?
All right, let me get down there. Are these recent comments? Because I'm just going to scroll down to the beginning.
Yeah, it's kind of recent. He said, I can't release watching Just Pocket Metal. Oh, I get it now. Is
he masturbating to it?
I think so, yeah. I'm not good enough for that. He needs some more manliness in here. I thought he accidentally typed the wrong word in. It took me forever, and now I was like, "Oh wait."
Kyle Coonley. Howdy, Scott Ian. Howdy, Steve Cooperlight. Winter chicken dinner. And guys, I should have done another PSA. As you heard me tell Beard, I have not sent out his. He's the one who's going to be hanging out with the Nimble not the Nimble. God, that was a fucked up Freudian slip. The Gripper V2, which is much more manly than the Nimble. I haven't sent out the winner's knives, so I feel really guilty saying we're going to have a giveaway tonight when I'm slack on getting to the UPS store, because I only have Saturday and Sunday to do that because I travel for work. So if you guys will be patient with me and not think I'm slicing you on, and I use that as an adjective. I think I said that right. I'm going to give away, this is one of my number one budget knives, and I did it last year, I think for it's under $50 knife, and it's the Sin-Cut Actium. And this knife, Civivi made a version of this, the Backlash, that looks exactly like this. And I had a Backlash before I gave it away. And I think this Actium, in all its glory, is a better knife, and I'm going to make sure we give this away later tonight. So,
John, what size gloves do you wear?
That's a good question.
Because I'm very curious. Every time when I see people that I watch all the time, I watch you, I watch Maddie, I watch Pocket Metal, I watch Stevie. I've got my core people, G-Ball, and
you don't got to lie and say you watch me. It's okay.
I try.
Well, you put out so much content.
I try to find out what size gloves people wear so that when somebody's holding up a knife, I know how to gauge the size.
Let me pull up my Amazon, because the last gloves I bought were some shooting gloves, so they're going to be tight. But I always say I have a medium to large size hand, because for being a small guy, and I'm trying to think of a knife to grab. Do you
But your fingers are real girthy, right?
They're not meaty. Mine aren't meaty, but they're not skeletally. They're not as skeletal as the rest of me. But that's me holding a big towel. And I've got the X towel too.
Somewhere in the pile. There it is.
Let me get is it you got the Axis lock one? Let me grab that one.
Yeah, I got the Axis lock one.
All right. I got it right here. So your hand is definitely, you've got less of the tail end
Yeah.
pushing out. But I can look and tell you what size gloves I'll wear. I always just say medium large. And I'm not going to say the name, but I'm not going to measure my hand and shave it.
That right there gives me a good idea as to size on the two.
But I think for my like stature that I've got larger than average hands for me. But yeah, and I need to find out what glove size, because I love. Have you ever seen Advanced Knife Bros videos?
Yes.
Can't say I watch them.
Dude, he's
are
hilarious.
those the two dudes out in the woods that made the knife?
No, that's DBS.
Okay.
Or DBK, I mean, Dutch Bushcraft Knives.
Yes, them.
Those kids are fucking hilarious.
He's one guy, and he puts out a video like every 2 weeks, maybe not that much, but he's freaking hilarious. So one thing
he's got a real dry sense of humor.
Very dry sense of humor, but it hits like a comedian's hits. I mean, I laugh every time I watch one of his videos, and he knows a lot about knives. But I forget how he talks about when he says, in the ergos, to me, I guess I can tell you how it makes me feel, but I know our hands are going to be different. So, it's one of those things that he lets go. But I wish I had an easy way without measuring my hand and saying it's 3 inches here and it's 4 inches here and it's 7, because nobody knows what their hand measurements are. But a glove's a good way to look at it. And I bet I've got that Amazon still in my...
gloves are like jeans. Every fucking company's...
Yeah, they're different.
Shit.
They've got sizing charts, and shooting gloves are probably the worst ones to look at, because
Stevie told me he wears an XL glove, and that motherfucker's hand's like 1.5 of mine, so...
Yeah, I don't have them on my phone. Is something I've gotten. But I'll tell you what I do have on my phone that I thought I brought over here. And I know you guys have all experienced it, I think, on the panel, but this little Miguron Moirel or Moral, I forget how you pronounce that, Moyrlral. This is a fantastic knife, and is right now in Q1 for $46.95, only available on Amazon. If you're looking for a very hardy, with steel liners, sitting proud inside of the G10, that's done extremely well, with a 14C 28-inch end blade. They have no affiliation to me at all, but it's got a titanium clip, and it's got G10 that I can only say is very reminiscent of what Spyderco's G10's like. So it's a very nice G10.
Yeah, I like this on this red one.
Yeah, Spyderco and Spyderco's is a lot. Even though I've replaced and modded a lot of mine, it's kind of crazy to say that, but I think they have some of the best G10 in the game, and this feels very reminiscent of what I consider quality G10. And all of it's T8s all the way around. The sharpening choil is more than you could ever ask for, and I've sharpened it just to get it to my edge, and it sharpened great. And that's something I do for therapy, guys. I'm going to do a video that I'm really nervous about doing using Fred Dupree, who is Dupree Forge, his Wicked Wax and his Wicked Clean, 2 products. I met him at Nashville right before the Knives Live giveaway last year. It was like, it's actually slowed down the giveaway by a day, because he gave me at the knife show, he said, let me just give you 5 of these to put in each of the prize packages. So I had to send them to Lefty, and I wasn't able to use any. So a couple of weeks later, he sent me some. And the Wicked Wax is just a protectant, right, that you rub on and then rub off. And the Wicked Clean is kind of like, it's a cleaner, and it'll get dirt off your blades, but it'll also get light scratches. So if you've ever used Flitz before, this is similar to Flitz, but it's not nearly as abrasive. And it's still all that beeswax food safe base. So I'm going to do a video on how I use it, because for me it's therapy, just like sharpening, putting an edge on a knife when I get it. That's kind of how I can equate the quality steel, since I'm not out there cutting 1,000 feet of cardboard, nor do I care. But I want to be credible when I say I think this is good steel or less than good steel. And usually you can tell how well it burrs if you're able to, get a consistent apex and then strop it sharp, and I can assume that it'll hold its edge pretty well. But
you're better than me, man. I look at a knife and I look at the thing and I say, oh, look, the blade's got numbers and stuff on it. That means it's made out of some kind of metal and could be a knife thing.
and that's all I can do as well, is point those things out. But when I come across a knife like this, I'm not being a shill by just sharing my excitement about how I
That's
feel
not being
about
a
it.
shill. For me, and I'm not trying to like define the fucking word, but if you are making money telling other people to buy something, even if the product's a piece of shit, then you're a fucking shill.
Well, that's a very easy one to spot. I think the way,
And that happens a lot.
and you see channels
Don't
that
forget to use my
all of
link
a sudden start to bring in only one maker's knives, or a very large percentage. And I don't, I respect Shane because he's got a affiliation with Blade Ops and he's using that as his only affiliate. And I'm thinking, Shane, you've got your own audience. Why would you limit yourself to one link? I'm not in the link game,
Right.
but I don't see why he would, or Blade Ops would think that he was being any less effective for what they're trying to squeeze him for, just like any business would when they're looking at an influencer. If he had 3 or 4 links that he was profiting from versus one. So I just don't get it.
Dude, I always forget
had,
to use links anyways when I buy shit.
And
a company
it's a
called
great
Sharper
knowledge.
Edges hit me up. And they're like, we found your YouTube channel and your Instagram, and we want you to check out our stuff. And I checked it out, and I mean, we're talking like $12 knives, $10 knives, so on. And I was like, I mean, send me an email and tell me what you want, because if I look at something, I'm going to tell the good, the bad, and the ugly. If I hate it, I'm going to call it a turd.
Right.
And they sent me an email, and the email immediately was like, we want you to go and sign up as an affiliate on our website and so on. And I wrote back and I was like, whoa. No, you need to tell me what you want me to show before I sign up for anything. Because if I sign up as an affiliate, then they're going to be able to use my name and my likeness on their website as an affiliate.
That you buy into their stuff and you might not be a fan. You might be willing to share their content and use it as content, but you don't want to be associated with something that's going to cause people stress. I get it.
Exactly. I mean, what a $12 knife they wanted to give me 10% on a sale. So what are they going to give me? 12 cents?
Well, the way I look at it
pennies there.
is we know that there are good companies out there, right? And they're going to give us probably that much or less, probably less.
I would just rather them say, hey, take a look at this knife, send me the knife, and then give it away when I'm done with it, than try to push people to a website to
I totally agree.
to get paid from it. The only place I have an affiliate with is Blue Creek.
And Brian's a fantastic human being, just like Austin at TPK is. I was so glad that Lefty's got the Lush exclusive going through him. Did you hear that news?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, the Lush, the one that's coming out that looks like a kind of a slip joint. I can't describe knives, but it's got a choil, and it kind of looks like a slip joint, but it's a liner lock. The pictures she's shown are in Arctic carbon fiber.
I can't say I've even seen it, man.
Let me show it to everybody. But anyway, he announced yesterday that it is going to be a exclusive with traditional pocket knives.
Nice.
And that way it won't have to go through pre-order and all that stuff, and he'll just be able to drop it.
Now I got to go. Did he put it on his Instagram?
No, but I'll find it. Hold on. I think he did. He did put it on his Instagram. I just said no, and that was not right. He did. It's right here. Here it is. Let me share it. And if my computer crashes, hang out with Doom and Pocket Metal till I come back. I appreciate it. I love you all. Working with my technological issues. But this knife right here, guys, the one on the left, it's a bolster lock This little sheep's foot. Can y'all see it?
Yeah.
That looks very, very close. I mean, every knife you could say looks close, but that side by side with like the RR standard that's coming out.
What is the RR standard? Is that the Rough Rider Reserve?
No. Knife standards.
All right, I'm gonna Google it.
RR standard.
It looks a little slabby. I'll say it again.
Knife standards.
Yeah, if you go onto Instagram to knife standards.
All right.
I'm sure it'll sell.
He's got a website too, don't they?
Yeah, he's got a website as well.
All right, let me get to his Instagram. Oh, it does look just like that. The one that's on his homepage. It's got the little stud on it at the end of the fuller.
Yep, it's more of a straight back without the contouring under the handle.
Let me show you. I think Kevin had mentioned that.
Two different sizes, but
they are, and I'll tell you guys, and I know y'all know this, but Kevin was not even aware that knife existed when he designed this. I mean, I think there are people that actually, because I believe him. I really do. I think he's had plenty of opportunities to screw with us, and I don't think
I'm sorry, that one looks badass. I'm more on board with that one.
Yeah, I've got that top one pre-ordered, and I freaking hate pre-orders with a passion.
How much is it?
$350.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna buy it.
$350.
Yeah, $350. It'll go up to $375 once they actually arrive.
Are y'all seeing that with me?
I like it.
I was trying to get the specifications. It's 3.5 inch cutting edge. Vanex super clean. I like that. Hollow grind. I like that.
It's a big knife, though. I mean, that was one of the things. If you saw Lefty got a prototype already.
It's a 3.5 inch cutting edge, so it's not.
It's going to be very similar in size to the RR standard.
3.9. Yeah, so it's almost a 4-inch blade.
Oh, the handle's long, no, 4.8. It's almost a 5-inch fucking handle.
And the knife is the blade's 4 inches, 3.9.
Fuck.
But yeah, and I don't know for a fact he didn't see it, but I could see how people could design similar knives and it just be by happenstance, because there's so many designers and there's so many people. How many spins can you put on like these two knives? I could take the Asher Nomad and this Pyrite, which I just failed. Damn it. But I could say one of them's ripping off the other, and I don't think they're even aware of each other.
I don't know about that, but if I already had the Asher, I wouldn't even have bought the Pyrite.
I did it for the channel, and I think it's a good knife, and I think, you can't buy an Asher right now. You can, and I've told people how to go about doing it. You reach out to Spencer with DM, and you say, I want one of your knives.
I usually don't buy something when I already have something that looks identical to it or, is very similar. These just happen to be sitting on my desk while I'm,
hey, buddy,
do the same thing.
Guilty as charged.
Kyle Coonley's saying that the Lush only has like a 3-inch blade.
Yeah, it's more pocket.
It's a much smaller knife. So that being said, I would never buy the Lush. I wouldn't.
Right.
I wouldn't do it. The Station is something that will fit perfectly in my hands, but I try to avoid small knives. I don't like them. I'll buy them occasionally just because, hey, a new space knife came out and it's only 7.5 inch. But for the most part, I like to go at least 9-inch overall.
Size queen.
My comfort zone. Yeah.
And for your primary knife, if you could stick to that. See, I've always been a one knife guy until 3 or 4 months ago when I started doing fixies. And since I've only bought, and I say only, 2 slip joints, and will only own 2 slip joints, hopefully, which won't happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a stupid thing. No, I'm sure.
This is a small knife, but it's very effective, Doom, and I think you could find it.
I have that. I have that exact knife, man. I got it right. I was just playing with it earlier.
The thickness of the handle, I just think, is that too small for you to cut boxes and stuff with? Because it might be. Your hand's a good bit larger than mine.
On that?
Yeah, on the Ohio River Jack. For a secondary, not your primary. I definitely wouldn't want it to be my only knife.
That's where I am. If I choke all the way up to where my hand is actually over the blade.
Yeah, you
I
don't want
can
that.
get it to come out to the edge of my hand.
But you don't need that because you've got your doodad. Does that work pretty good, or does the doodad throw it back into your hand?
It doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm not doing anything hard with this thing anyway, man. I open boxes.
Right.
You know?
So for me, it's just been the smaller knives when they're like this, or like the knife, the Lush. I would never probably carry it as my primary. Even though for me, a 3" to a 3¼ inch is typically what my primaries most comfortably are. And I've got bigger knives that I love too, but just like going to the office, I don't want it to be overpowering.
Yeah.
Took me a minute to remember where it is. See, at least my hand, kind of sits in there.
Yeah, you're on camera. I see you as a much smaller guy than you are in reality. When you told me how tall you are and how statuesque of a fella you really is.
Pocket metal's like 6'9".
I'm not 6 foot. I'm no Mattis unfaction, but
No Sasquatch size.
No. Until I had my back surgery, I was 6'3", and
Yeah.
I'm right at the 300 poundage per square footage.
But it puts your hand in perspective when you hold the Ohio River Jack compared to me holding it and Bod holding it. I mean, those are things that are hard to share in a review. But for a knife that I didn't think I'd really need, and I'll be honest with you,
it gives a whole different perspective though when you hold it like this and go like meat knuckle on it, up next to the camera.
I mean, I think it's a good size. I can get all 4 fingers on it, so.
It's like when people hold you see the pictures of people holding camel spiders, and they hold it way out here, next to the camera, so the thing looks this huge. Big.
Right. The perspective throw you off. Well, that's we've all been bit by that on knives. I know you've gotten them. I've seen it on your reaction videos too. And this thing's smaller than I thought it was going to be. This thing's tiny, because they all look. The screens up on them, and you have no idea unless you read the specs, which I really did.
That was back for the most part. It was back when I really first started collecting, and I'd buy something, and someone would be like, "Oh, this is so great," and I would, without thinking twice, I'd be like, "Yo, hype train, go buy, purchase," and then it'd show up and be like, "Holy crap, this thing is like baby size," but.
Right.
Now for the most part, I'll read it, and then I'll buy it, and then I'll forget what I read, and then it'll show up, and I'll be like, "Damn, this thing is small. I should have read that." And then I'm like, "Yeah, I did read that. Oh well."
Think of it as content. Now your content's very expensive. Some of the stuff that you buy, and I hated to see you go through that experience with the Arcane.
Oh man, that was.
Bar. It's painful because I knew how excited you were to complete it, and you could just tell. I mean, that's why your videos are so good, because you're capturing the essence of what it's like to be a consumer, right?
Yeah.
We all run on that fake dopamine rush of having something incoming.
So I saw that video, but I didn't watch it, honestly. I saw it today. It popped up on YouTube, but I was.
It's a great one.
It was basically it was a step by step of my entire experience. I got.
You gave it so many chances to come and make it right.
Yeah, and I mean, he offered for me to send it back to him a second time when the door was hitching, and basically what was happening is I bought the expensive kit for it, the Zerkatai kit, and so. The way it works, right, is you got this little door back here.
Yeah.
And then the bits stick, and I don't like this whole magnet thing, but we're not going to get into that.
The version 1, I think you'd like better.
There's magnets. Where am I going? There's the magnet there and the magnet there. Well, on the second go around, this magnet fell out. But then still, once I got everything back together, on the inside of the door, there's a big, long magnet. Well, on the stock door, the way that it's milled, and I'm guessing this was just tolerances when they were doing the different parts, the standard titanium door, the magnet sat flush all across the bottom. But on the Zerkatai door, there was, maybe a half a millimeter lip, give or take, all the way around that the magnet actually sunk into. So then when the door was trying to go over the lip on these bits, or the back end of the bit where it's squared off,
You're in the wrong door, Matisfaction. Sorry.
That lip was catching. So I wound up having to take the thing, and I took it outside and put it on a sanding block and just planed it completely flat until it was as close to the magnet as possible. And then I took a gel-based cyanoacrylate, crazy glue basically, and I filled in all of the gaps that were still there from the magnet and the tolerances, and then I sanded that flush. So now now it works.
But most people couldn't do
perfectly.
that.
Sands that bit that just flew out somewhere.
But you've got the wherewithal and the stuff to do that with. Most people like me,
how much was that item?
I don't think it's the wherewithal to do it. I think it's the fact that I don't give a crap if I break it.
Well, yeah, that's part of it too. But you work on motorcycles. Some of us don't really, we can change light bulbs, but that's about it. I mean, my man card is very pink and pale compared to being able to do manly things. That's why when I look at Jason's work, it's very impressive. Or when you say you sanded it down, that took time. If I couldn't do it, but I know Israel would also do everything to make it right.
Oh yeah, Israel was absolutely fantastic, and him and I talked throughout the whole thing. And I sent him a message saying, "Look, man, I just wanted to give you a heads up that I got a video coming out on this thing, and it's not very good." And he's like, well, I mean, we talked, and I told him everything, and I showed him how I planed the thing down and how I did all the stuff, and I got it working. But the whole time he was willing to take it back and make it right. And I personally just got to a point where I wanted to take care of it myself because I knew I could. Any other person out there, he would have been 100% willing to take care of it. And to me, I would rather have a product that has issues with somebody who's 100% willing to fix it than some of these other really big name companies. When somebody has a problem with it, they immediately start blaming the customer and say, oh, well, it's definitely not our product. Our product is perfect. Israel was like, man, I'm really sorry. Let me make this right for you. And I just, we went back and forth, and I gave him the step-by-step on everything. And that was when, I went back and I wound up putting that little 5-minute blip in the beginning of the video saying everything is fixed, this is how it's working now, and then went into the rest. But you mentioned something about the man card and changing tires and so on, and I went to take my daughter for ice cream today, and I had just gotten my oil changed on the car at the Ford dealership. I always take it to the dealership because I want them to have the records.
Sure.
And, I've reached a point where I don't feel like doing that stuff myself anymore. So I took it back, got the oil changed, and I've been driving on this thing for maybe 500 miles since that oil change. Went to take the kid for ice cream today, and I look at my front wheel, and I'm like, what the hell? And there's no lug nut on the thing. Because they did a tire rotation where they don't really rotate corner to corner. They just go front to back each time.
Right.
But it was missing a lug nut. I'm like, what the hell? And I went down and I felt the other lug nuts, and they were all on there, just hand tight. So whatever tech did my car, I was the last appointment on a Saturday, and they were just rushing to get out the door and go drink some beer. And the guy totally forgot to torque my damn wheel back on. So I rolled back in there today, and I'm like, yeah, y'all need to put a new lug nut on here and make sure these are properly torqued. Because if my wheel falls off going down the road, you're not gonna be happy.
No, with my baby in the car and coming in here to pay you to do things that are just a simple oversight. Mm-hmm. But I can tell you, I wanted to work with the Ford dealership too on my little body issue where that freaking guardrail jumped out. I don't know how it did it, but it was just bizarre, like a deer. And they haven't gotten back with me yet. I mean, they've got everything that they need, but I know it's because there's supply issues with getting another door. But just let me know. So I'm now forced with, do I go to this other body shop who will at least communicate with me, but they're going to have to buy the door from the same place? Or do I just get used to taking it in the ass and know that people aren't going to work like they used to before all the world changed? And it's just a new way to deal with things. It's sad to think about, but
it's everywhere, man. It's like, how do you send a car out without torquing the lug nuts?
That's putting somebody's life at risk. It would seem like if you put the lug nuts on, what is any reason not to torque them down unless they're two different people that do that, in which your system is flawed?
Yeah.
Your system's asking for the liability, not to mention just the humanness of, let's get this right. I mean, there's no reason to leave it untight. But that's scary, dude.
Yeah.
Edgy American, I'm fully insured, my brother. But this is the latest little fixie that came in courtesy of Lefty EDC and Luck Knives, Mr. Mikey, who used to be the former NAS sergeant. It's a little, probably too small for you guys, but for me, it's a perfect little four-finger that has a choil just built right into it. Little MagnaCut slicer.
Speaking of little slicers,
I saw that today.
That thing is a gnarly thing. I actually just finished my video on it today, and I focused a lot of the video on basically saying, if you're buying one of these knives expecting CNC perfection, then you're absolutely in the wrong place.
Right. It's not for you.
No, definitely not for you. Because I know, oh God, who is it? Aussie Mike bought one, and it went through Dirk on its way to Australia. And it was kind of I don't know how I feel about this thing. It's a little too rough for me. And I think, when
Dirk
Dirk Werning.
Yeah, our brother Dirk. I've sent him a bunch of Ashers. I talked to him a lot. So he didn't have a favorable impression.
Yeah,
Did
he wasn't too fond with it. But the one that Mike bought was a little more rough around the edges than some of the other ones.
But was it one that Jason just put for sale because he was tired of fooling with it? Was it one of those that was?
Yeah, I think so. But nonetheless, so yeah, I got this thing, and the majority of my video on it is, I'm showing the knife and I'm talking about the process of how he makes it and so on. And I kind of coined it on my Instagram post today that it was like, what you're buying with this is the post-apocalyptic kind of look to it. It looks like something that somebody would pick up materials with no CNC sew on and piece together weapons of the apocalypse in their garage type thing. So if you go at it thinking, yeah, I'm getting this pristine piece, that's not what you're going to get.
Well, if you communicate with them what you want, you can get a very pristine piece. And I've got a little knife coming that's going to be more in this, I forget what this is called, puka, this shape, but it's going to be just a deep hollow grind with a shorter blade, not a chisel grind.
Yeah.
But, and again, Jason's, I think his love of knives, that's not where he wants to be. That's kind of like an easy tattoo for him, a stencil tattoo, if you will, instead of doing something more custom.
He has the most fun doing things like this one over here, like the real battle worn, crazy looking things.
Absolutely.
I think that's the stuff that he really enjoys doing.
But
and
for
everyone I see him crank out even the battle worn ones, every one I see him crank out gets cleaner and cleaner and cleaner and cleaner. I look at it like almost like investing in the future of a friend's knife company.
Absolutely. Who's always Dark Gravity, come back in here. I'm gonna call you little baby Wham Wham if you don't come back in here.
That's not nice.
But this, I mean, he can do very refined look. So I think if you wanted a small J-Cal, so if you were somebody who had been thinking, I like a chickadee because it's American made, and you wanted a J-Cal, which this is the large J-Cal. Let me get the small one so you can see how the handles actually. But that's where we started talking when I saw this one.
Yeah.
So if you wanted it smaller and wanted it simple, it's definitely something within what Jason can do. And a lot of people want these, but his passion is making the more cool things that I wouldn't have thought I'd wanted, like that cleaver that I call the Wicked Cleaver or the Killer Cleaver, and I spell the cleaver with the K. But I think that is just, for a box opener, you know, something just to pull out of a sheath I've got on the table when an Amazon package comes in. Whoop. I mean,
you put a little hook, a little key hook on the wall, and just put it through the hole in that blade. Just dangle it.
Yeah.
Dangle it by the toilet. It could be the poop knife.
But I put a little bit of an edge on it. I put, again, 17 degrees, my magic edge, but it sharpened up really well. And that's something that Jason will tell you. That's his least favorite thing. He hates sharpening. He does it on a belt. And I love to see the relationship that he and Joe are starting to build at EDC Roundtable, Master Joda, Lancelot Leather. So I know I'd like
to see him get to a point where he makes a handful of different things, packs them up, ships them to Joe. Joe sheaths them, and then they go up on the round table.
Exactly, with a sticker from each, and it was just kind of a package. I think that would be awesome. Mm-hmm. But just so you guys know, these are both supposed to have been, I've wanted them to be, with Joe, to have sheaths made for them. So it's not just your knives that you've won that are slow getting out. It's also me shipping knives that I'm trying to have sheaths made. It's just I don't have enough hours in the day, and I've got to focus and get everything sent out, and tomorrow's going to be that day. So that's me again doing a PSA, woe is me, but I feel like shit by having knives sitting here, because I know how people get stoked when they win something, or they want to forward it on to somebody else, and I get it.
So Maddie's over here saying that he needs some knives that people can't hold, you know, with just two fingers. So, I mean, here you go, Maddie. Here's a few for you.
I don't have anything else in my big box.
We'll keep going. There's one. There's one.
Those Max Aces are beautiful, Doom. Yeah, my Max Ace looks like a little wah-wah compared to yours, unless I get it real close to the camera.
Oh, that's such a great knife, though, man.
It's one of my favorites.
It's such a great one.
It's actually the first one, though. I had a Sandstorm K, the inexpensive Sandstorm that Doom's showing off, the real ones. But this Max Ace was the first real Max Ace I brought into my collection, and I was just blown away. This was long before the Black Mirror, which, as you guys know, is a totally different knife.
There you go, Maddie.
That's so sick.
I really don't want to send this one back to Dirk. I really don't.
But you couldn't have two different design elements. Now, I guess they're more similar than I ever gave them credit for.
Yeah.
I'm just going in the opposite direction of what the hell you two fools are doing.
No, I love those knives.
I would pull out my...
What is that?
And I'm also upsetting Kyle as much as possible.
Is that a GEC?
Oh, check this one out. I don't know if y'all saw this one. This is the I just got this one in today. This is the Knock DG12.
I looked at that. I saw that. I don't like the way the blade sits in the handle.
I don't either.
But when it's out, it's cool. But when it's down, it looks fucking annoying.
Well, because they had to make it like a folder.
Single edge, right?
That being said, there's a lot of knives that are daggers that don't do that.
But the handle's very thin when it's deployed.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the beauty of it. It's open.
For sure. It just looks goofy as fuck when it's closed.
I think it's designed like that, A, because it's only sharpened on one side, so it didn't have to be sunk completely in. And B, I think they intended this to be one of those stupid wave deployment things that I absolutely hate. But
it just seems like a way to cut yourself.
Yeah, I got the thing for $50. So dagger wise, this one, if we're talking like sweet dagger,
Jamie wants that thing so bad.
Yeah, I can
never. It's supposed to come out this year, but
this thing is so good.
Yeah,
it's so good. You know who's doing a custom one now is Bastion Knives out of Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Just started his very first ever folding double-edged dagger project that he's working on, and he's been posting up the all the progress pictures of how it's coming along, and it's so cool watching that man work.
Yeah, that's one thing I've never Dark Gravity, come back up here, brother. You had a lot to offer. He's in the chats.
Both about knives and, sexually.
But yes, Urban Woodsman,
I do hate waves on my knives. The only things that I'm okay with having the waves on are karambits. And really, when it boils down to it, a karambit's not even a good fighting knife. It's a freaking farmer's knife.
Or when you really fucking hate that box.
When you say you kind of like the wave on that, you would rather it not have a wave, though, right? You never use that as a deployment method, or do you on a karambit?
On this, yeah, absolutely. I have it set up to where it sits with the wave facing forward on my right hand side. So when I pull it with this finger out of my fifth pocket, it's already opened in a forward-facing grip. But I carry this thing. I mean, I'm not. When it boils down to it, is everyone's like, oh, I carry this for a self-defense knife, that for a self-defense knife. If I'm going somewhere where I know that I'm going to need a self-defense knife, I carry multiples with me. I have my nice one that I have just for me. And then I have a shitty one that I'm willing to give up to an evidence locker.
Right. Or if you get like walking through, like I did last time that I went to the park down in Orlando. I was there for a conference, Universal Studios.
Yeah.
We walked over from the hotel, and I always carry a knife. Luckily, I had the Comaran on me, but it was enough for me to walk all the way back and have, it in my room. But I went through a metal detector and was told I couldn't carry it in there.
Yep.
And that sucked.
If you're giving up your knife, let's say to an evidence locker, they're taking everything you got on you. So if they're taking one, they're taking them all.
You can have the one that has blood on it.
I don't think they're going to let you leave.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work like that.
Yeah, unfortunately. I also, not for that reason, but I just carry multiple knives in case, you got to have the knife to give to people who aren't, just give them my little
Swiss Army knife.
Someone one time asked me, they're like, hey, does anyone have a knife? We were standing by an elevator, and also it was like in a parking garage. So they had that machine there to pay for your parking. And they're like, hey, does anyone have a knife? And I didn't think to ask, what are you doing with it? They took my knife and they jammed it because they put the ticket in the wrong hole. And so they're trying to get the fucking thing out with my knife.
Oh God!
And
it could have been one of your
Yeah, so from now on, I always have my slip joint, which this isn't like the cheapest one, that they make, because I had to get the black, Knife Center exclusive one. But it's still, like what, I think it's like $20-$30 or whatever. But, at any rate, definitely carry something that you don't mind some jackass if you're going to let someone jam into a fucking credit card slot to pull out a piece of paper because they can't pay for their fucking parking, right?
Yeah, that's pretty.
Hold on, guys. I gotta feed the dog. Y'all keep up the conversation.
But much on your karambit. This is my version of the fighting slip joint here. You can also get it in that ridiculous hand grip there, so you have the nice hook.
That's a fantastic pruning knife right
there. Well, it's a harvester. They're very similar to a pruner.
Yeah,
slight difference. Some people will say it's the same thing, but
that's what karambits and hawkbills.
So it's
were originally
a slight difference here.
If you go back in history, a lot of weapons that are weapons were just tools that farmers and tradesmen used. That when war came to them, that's what they had. The karambit was like a gardener's farming tool. And they didn't have anything else, so it became a fighting knife. Now it's
you
like
use what you got to, right?
it's the mall ninja knife of choice.
Yeah. I mean, I just like this when it came out. I was like,
I like that thing. Yeah, Finch did a harvester, I think it was called. I don't
they
remember.
Did, but it was just a straight, and then it had like the top looked the same, but it's like this if you took off the.
Yeah, it just canted a little further down in the front.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was straight, and then the blade came down.
I want to like Finch knives, but every time I like see someone's, for the most part they just piss me off because I can't stand modern knives that are slabby.
Yeah.
I want it to have a little bit of contouring to it. It drives me fucking nuts when things are fucking slabby.
I have a few Finch knives, and I like them for what they are. I like the fact that they're kind of neo-retro old knives, like the 1929 is.
It's my favorite.
It reminds me of something that my grandpa used to carry, But
fuck the neo-retro.
But you've got real ones.
What's that?
You've got real ones, so you don't have to go retro.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like this isn't like super old.
What would you rather be knifeless than? What's up, Chaz?
Edgy would rather be knifeless than have to stream wearing a shirt.
Oh yeah. No, he doesn't ever have to wear a shirt.
I don't know what he was talking about. I'm just talking out my ass.
Someone on Metal Monday, by the way, had asked me several times what's my favorite sodbuster. And I'm like, I like them all. But then I kept forgetting that, the one with the fucking cap lifter on it is, of course, the best one.
I've been noticing those by case, I think, are the ones that are being released at about $89, $90. I'm trying to think if I've seen any others. There was another maker that I've seen on the knife websites that I go to, ESSX.
Oh, okay, yes. So that knife is like $300.
Okay, so that's a different one. I've seen some higher end ones too. So
Austin's selling them, maybe some other people.
Yeah. And I'm on traditional pocket knives.
Are made by Riot. Yeah, those are made by Riot. I think they're M390 titanium, and then the micarta. So it's very similar. And some people, that's one thing that I laughed at. I watched an old video of lefties that I thought was hilarious. Some people would say it's very similar to a Pena knife. And yes, Pena makes modern versions of traditional knives. So they're very close to the same. But the Essex one has the cap lifter on the ass end of it, which is kind of cool. Still,
I'm going to go read to my kid real quick. I'll be back in just a minute.
Much money.
Okay,
that
brother.
Was the one thing. I've talked about this because I got it, and I really do love this, especially for the $65 that I paid for it.
That's Appalachian Drifter, right?
Yeah. When Lefty did a review of this, he's like, I don't know why we need this when Enrique Pena makes these. I'll tell you why, because those cost $300 and this one doesn't.
A totally
so if you
different.
Want to spend $300 on something like that, then you can get a cheaper version. And I bought one of those. I bought a Pena, and I sent it back just because it wasn't for me. But yeah, this is worth $65 easily.
A to Z EDC, one of my local buddies, has gotten a couple of Penas, and the only ones I've experienced are front flippers, and I'm not a front flipper guy, and they all seem smaller than he thought they'd be.
Yeah, they're small. Like, I don't mind. Like, this is probably about the same size. But yeah, they're front flippers, whereas this is a front flipper, but you can also use the thing to,
What was the one you were just holding before that one?
It's a GEC.
Oh, that's a GEC?
Eastern Cutlery, yeah.
Is a lockback, though, it looks like.
It is. Yes, they do lockbacks. I mean,
I knew they did.
It's still a slip joint because it has the spring. But it's a lockback, so they do make locking versions. That's like, this is the lockback version. It's a Shatton Morgan with the Keystone series. But if you,
Dude, it's just simply leaning into the computer or into the phone. It's something about the little breezeway you sit in that it's only occasionally that you can't be heard. So don't act like you're bowing out, because I won't let you. You've got to come back at some point. If you don't want to tonight, I totally get it. But you're part of Friday Night Flicks. Your audio is fine. It's just a matter of leaning, knowing where the mic is. That is all, brother, from another mother.
So Twang Thang said something about, so yeah, the drops, they usually go pretty fast. They have been making a lot of the knives. They're making like more variants of them. And depending upon who's selling them, like when Austin does it, he waits for a buildup of them, and then he'll drop a shit ton of them all at once. So you have a little bit more of an availability to get them. But yeah, I mean, it's a small company, American made, and they don't make huge amounts of shit because they can't.
And it's just like getting anything else. If you want it, you're not denied. I mean, you just got to be there, right? You've got to be plugged into their email, and you're pretty well. For example, traditional pocket knives will let you know before he does a social media post, I would think.
Right. And then you can always do the secondary. I have bought them on the secondary. The older ones cost more. They also, a lot of the older ones, they didn't really make as many of them. So there's that comes into play. But yeah, and then there's just certain ones like any of the Barlows, the TC Barlows and shit like that. They don't really make a lot of these, so they go super fast.
Very cool.
So there you go. Like the English Jack, you can still get them at the Knife Connection, and it's not that much more expensive than some of the other places. The price I think was like a $20 difference. I'm not a huge, like, I like big knives, slip joints too. So this is an English Jack, and this is big, but this is so thin. The English Jacks are always such a thin knife, and it's not bad. It's just, I don't know why it's not exactly my thing.
Is it a single blade, or is it available in a single blade?
So mine is, the ones out now are like this, where they have the clip, and then they also have a pen blade, which is like a little spear point.
And they seem to both come out of the same area, like both out of one side.
When it's a jack, they come out of the same side.
See, I need to learn. I need to find out how to learn about slip joints. Surely there's a book, right? Or a download that talks about all that?
Yeah, you can get that tells you everything about different patterns and all kinds of shit, and there's fucking so many.
But then you're kind of admitting yourself to the rabbit hole, right? So is it better to just be ignorant like I am on lives and kind of be like learning from you if I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now?
Do whatever the fuck you want, right?
I got into this knowing where it will lead someone like you and me, because I think we probably are likewise driven by the same biological motor that makes us desire things that are sharp and
Yeah.
cuddly, right?
I started watching the guy that I still watch his channel. He gives a lot of great like history shit. He knows a lot about all the different patterns. Is Knife Thoughts. He has Instagram and YouTube. He does a lot more modern stuff recently, but in the beginning, it was like fucking just slip joint, slip joint, slip joint, slip joint, most of which were GECs. And that's kind of where I got fucking the bug, was from watching his stuff and just really wanting to, grab one. And then once I got my first one, it was downhill from there.
So I think you just answered my question, and I just probably didn't pose it in a good way. If I were to buy a book on slip joints, even though it would probably educate me quicker than these different communications that we have, it would probably rapidly descend me down chasing slip joints, knowing me. So I can answer that question for myself.
Yeah,
I'm just going to continue getting info from you instead of getting it all at once.
You can still get a lot of like these. They're a little bit hard to find right now. They're not, so it's Robert Class. I've mentioned these before, spelled KLA SS. Yes. So you can get the old ones. You can find them here and there. These are made in China, but they're still made better than Rough Rider. And I think I got this one for like $15 to $20 when I got it. Now they're going up a little bit because I think they stopped making them or some shit. But you can still find them on eBay and stuff. And those are well made, little slip joints. So if you wanted to try out, this is like a trapper pattern. This has got a crazy clip point on it. Most of them don't look that crazy, but that's why I got it. I loved the, nutty. Some would say it's like a California clip, or I forget what the fuck the other name is for it. And then it's also got a really crazy looking spade blade on it too. But that way you can kind of figure out if you want to go and, down the trappers, or, you can try out different fucking patterns. And that's what a lot of people do with Rough Riders. You can see if you like it
before you invest in a nicer one.
Right. And granted, those things are going to have issues, especially the Rough Riders, that maybe some other brands, might not. One of the things that's kind of funny that they did with Rough Riders, so I like camp knives, which is like, like the, we have, this is an old school Girl Scout knife.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the little Girl Scout logo on there. So I like these kind of, it's got the, the little, the bail on it.
The tether, or whatever you call that, the bails.
Right. So it's like a bulky Swiss Army knife, right? So it's got a can opener, a cap lifter, screwdriver, supposedly.
Prior.
I would never really use it. Usually an awl, and then your blade, right? Well, the thing that they fucked up on this one is you can't really get this on a cap. Like when you go to, it's fucking, so everyone that has bought this Rough Rider ended up having to fucking mod it, or just
to
not
get it to actually work.
Right.
That's wild.
So yeah, now granted this is under $20. This one is some sort of, I don't know, I can't remember what it is. Carbon steel, so it will patina. And that's why I bought it. I like, using knives and them getting a patina on them. But you can try shit out that way.
So from where you go, besides GEC, if you're looking at slip joints, like I look at traditional or modern knives, what are your sources?
Favorites is GEC and then Shat & Morgan, which Shat & Morgan, Bill Howard, who owns and operates Great Eastern Cutlery, used to work at Shat & Morgan when it was still in existence. They're both in Pennsylvania. They bought some of the machinery and started that company with it. This is machines that are like, a lot of it, like I said, it's 100-year-old machinery making knives that have been around for that long. GEC is a new company, but they're using the same skills, and what was left of the people, from that company to make it. So I like to get Shatton Morgans as well, and that's like I was showing you, like this guy here.
Because those are because they're traditional in the way that they're doing things. But you buy other nice slip joints too. It's like, what other, I know you buy from Austin. So TPKs, didn't you say you have a couple of these? These Ohio?
We only have that. And the funny thing about that is Chamiet won this knife from Advanced Knife Bro on his Halloween giveaway, because she made a Halloween costume, and that was the prize. Was like, you get to pick which Ohio River Jack you wanted. So
have you told me what you feel like the pull is on that? How you would grade that?
It's a strong pull for sure.
Do you like it?
7 or 8.
Yeah, it's. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. It doesn't. I don't hate it. The thing that I always find funny is people are like, "Oh, slip joint, it's gonna close on your hand." What the fuck are you doing with your knife that it's going to close on your hand? If you're sitting there pushing on it while you're not using it, I think you deserve to get cut.
Well, as an 8-year-old kid who went through that, you not only get cut, but you get your ass chewed out by your dad, if not beaten. So It was one of those things that for me, it was just like, I think, will it really do that? Because he's always told me not to mess with it. He'd left it after he sharpened it on his desk. And that's why, I don't know if y'all saw my video, but that's maybe what had subconsciously kept me out of that rabbit hole to start with, is because my early childhood memory that I kind of blocked all the way out until I started really thinking about it did result in a cut and a beating.
So get a lock back. if you're that worried about it.
I've got a buck 110, so that's why when I wanted to jump in, this isn't a real slip joint. I realize that, and neither is my
No, it's a real slip joint. It's just a modern one.
Right.
It's got a spring. It's a slip joint.
But you spend your money on like real steel slip joints. I'm trying to think where would Pocket Metal go with his when he's not buying a traditional.
Random other shit that just tickles my fancy whenever it pops up. It's nothing. Like I said, I have a few fucking. We've collected now since then a decent amount of other random things, but I always, my love will always be with traditionals. That's just
right.
What I care about. This guy over to What's the Point EDC. I don't know if you guys have checked out What's the Point EDC yet. New guy Frankie, and he gets these crazy like big.
I'm gonna make you big for a second. Keep talking.
Yeah. I'm sending this one to him. This is the Max Ace Albatross slip. Thing's got.
And that's just has it got a good half stop?
It's got some weird stops in it. It kind of comes here, then has like a break point, and then it goes a little past half, and then it opens. But it makes really weird noises.
But it looks to have snap in between those spaces from a safety standpoint, is what I look at when I'm calling those stops different places.
Yeah, the real steel ones do that as well. I mean, the cheaper ones, they make like $100 version, but the real steel one isn't exactly at half. It's like a little bit, more.
Yeah.
It's
like a 3/4.
Yeah. So that way, if you do close it, you can still
Keep
get a little hand. But yeah, it's.
Well, that's almost better than a half stop from a safety standpoint.
I mean, yeah, it's just I'm just assuming that when they started doing the old school style of shit, that was just you got the flat part on the blade, it's a little rounded, the other flat part of the the back of the blade, and then in the full position. So that's just the way they do it. I mean, they can do that however they want, but also when you look at like these, it doesn't like seam up great at the ass, like right here where the lock, the spring hits the blade. But on stuff like this, it does, it seams up a lot nicer when it's in, the full open. There's a little something on there. So it's stuff like that. You just want it to look nice. It doesn't have gapping and shit and stuff that cheaper stuff does sometimes. Not that these were super expensive, but.
What
Well,
are
that's
you
just
guys
what I'm trying to learn.
doing?
What's acceptable, right? What people consider acceptable construction, and I think the Ohio River Jack and the QSP, for that matter, when I look at them open
What the
and
hell are
things
they
like that,
talking
they
about
look
over here?
very smooth.
Well, that's because QSP made the Ohio River Jacks and then
I
took
know,
what they learned from making the Ohio River Jack
and
and
made
then
a
turned
hollow
around and
grind.
slightly modified as just like what they did to EMP EDC with the relative.
And we all know, and I think we've all had this conversation candidly, if you've got a product that you don't want the intellectual property to basically be raped away from you,
You use a
don't do
US
business
OEM.
with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Howdy,
it's
Bad
like the
Ninja
price
Timmy.
of doing business
Judy,
overseas.
sharp guy.
What's up,
Yeah, it
Bamba
is.
Ninja?
And they're, it's nice, I guess. We've gotten conditioned, but it's refreshing to see them not take personal or exact copies. But I think the relative, to me, looked almost exactly like it. Now, you said it wasn't, that the handle's a good bit different, but I don't own a relative.
Yeah.
And I sure
It's
don't
just
cut
it's
myself
I think they
on
look
mine.
enough different, and I think you're a fucking sucker if you buy the QSP branded one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Why
It
would
looks. It
I
looks
got mine.
goofy as
I
shit.
got it at a really, really deep discount. And then I got it. I opened it. I filmed my video calling it a complete and utter turd. And then I turned around and I sold it for an even deeper discount. So I lost like another $40 on it. But I sold it to a friend here, part of the community. And when he said he wanted to buy it, my thing was, you have to watch this video. It hadn't even come out yet. So it was still on private. So I sent him the link and I'm like, you have to watch my video because I'm not taking your money. And then 2 days from now, when it arrives on your doorstep, 1 day later, a video comes out of me being like, this is a piece of crap.
Yeah, know it up front. Full disclosure. This is
Uh-huh.
what I think about it. This is why I'm selling it.
Satisfaction, there was nothing for him to get back to me on. I fixed everything on my end. He was 100% willing for me to send it back to him and him fix it on his end again. But I opted to just fix it here and save everybody the shipping. But yeah, him and I were in touch, back and forth through the whole process. But yeah,
we
he
talked
was
about
awesome
that
about it.
earlier.
Yeah, I was talking about it earlier if you were here, but you were too cool to come and hang out with us. So, I mean,
I totally
there's
get
that,
it.
Maddie.
Stick burn.
Maddie's a busy man. He's got the little micro and the mini faction going around, and in
Right.
my scroller, I am definitely on Team Eli.
So
And
I
Shane, you're
know
welcome to jump up here.
that Beard of Doom is an AliExpress. He talked about that before. He's a fan. He uses AliExpress to buy shit on. I just got in my new Tactical fanny
Ooh,
pack.
Look
Ooh.
at that fanny pack.
It's got the Velcro, and I have my kitty with the knife in its mouth patch on
I
there
like
right now.
that kitty.
So this bag, they had a sale going. $3.80 shipped.
Mm-hmm.
And it showed that
$3.80. Now I have put some other stuff in there, so there is it'll hold like one of those things in it. So I have that in the front there. So you got a nice big front pocket there. Then you got this one that flops down. That's got like, I don't want to say it's
I'm
Molly,
gonna make you big.
not really, but it's got like things where you can stick knives in there and shit.
Yeah.
And then this I added, but it's got two more of those up there where you can clip shit in, like this little thing right there.
Man,
Dude,
that
that's
looks
so good for
that
$3.
looks very nice. Yeah.
And then it's got a big pocket. Like I can fit my Bark River fixed blade back in here. And then it's got two fucking side pockets. And it's supposed to be, I haven't tested it. When you zip it up, it's supposed to keep everything out waterproof style. So, because I live in a wet area. Now, the one thing I will say disappointed me, because I'm a larger dude, and I guess whoever they took the picture on must have been a very small person. They said I could shoulder sling this, but it's a little too small for me to shoulder sling it.
You could always just buy extra clips on Amazon
Yeah,
and
that's
make
what I'm
your
gonna
own
do.
nylon sling for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. It has like a little,
Yeah,
whatever the fuck kind of clippy, so I'm just going to get something to make it longer.
I'm sure
Yeah,
all
those
in all,
are
it sounds
generic
like a
clips.
mad win, right? Pocket metal. I mean, for what
yeah.
you got. Yeah, I mean,
And-
huge.
for whatever reason, during the sale thing that they were doing, they also had like guaranteed like 12-day shipping, and I think it got here faster than that. It wasn't supposed to arrive till like April 17th, I think, and it got here today.
A lot of that stuff, when they do the big sales like that, a lot of them actually have distributors in the US where they'll send, they'll be like, hey, we're going to have this big sale on these things. And they'll send a pallet of them to their friend's house, usually in like Washington or California is what I've found when I order. And then when they have the flash sales, the sales just get pushed to that person in the States and it just ships straight to you.
This one, when you watch the tracking, it was coming from somewhere in China.
Yeah.
Had it spent like a day in Compton. For some reason, a lot of shit ends up in Compton before it comes up to Washington.
Yeah, that's the big hub. It goes to LAX, then it goes to Compton.
Yeah. But for $4, man, you can't fucking beat it.
Dude, look at this.
There's a lot of stuff like that there.
This is a Sipsy Wilder fanny pack. That it's a made in the US. They got these cool patterns. Right. I got the one with the little wolves on it. But it's just got all it has is this little magnetic button with one little pouch, kind of pouch. That, I mean, that's a little Write in the Rain notebook in there to give you an idea of that. And then there's a second one back here that's pretty small. And then there's a third zipper back here that kind of splits this whole divider. So there's not a ton of room in it. And this thing was like $35. So
it's still not a bad deal. I mean, especially made in America shit.
Yeah.
So there's
still,
a lot of
man, $4 for one, and there's I can't put a kitty patch on this one. That makes me sad.
I don't even. What the fuck is potato? Where do I keep the almond rokas at? I don't eat those, but what is that?
Sorry, buddy, I didn't mean to leave you up there solo.
There's lots of pockets in here for that. I mean, if that's your jam. Like I was saying, one of my Barker Fixie fits in that big ass back pocket that it has in there. So, I mean, you can fit quite a good size amount of shit in this little thing.
Yeah, that little back pocket to me looked like a CCR, or what do you call it? Concealed carry little
CCW,
pocket. Yeah.
Well, I think that's like the whole idea of like this part, like you unzip it and then it like flops down and then it has shit like that. I think it's supposed to be, whatever.
Could be, yeah.
I carry another bag, but it is I think it's a little bit way too more tactical. And this thing, is a sling. It works great as one. But I think when if I go into a store or something with all this on me, then I get looks and shit, and they might think I'm trying to rob shit. But there's no room to fucking
put anything else in it.
I couldn't. It's fucking packed down, so there's no way that's gonna happen.
That's about the size of the one. Like I'll carry to Blade Show. It's a VanQuest.
You can fit a fuckload of shit in that bag.
Yeah, you can, and because I'll carry the knives that I think people might want to see, and you can carry a good bit of knives, and then it gives you room. Even though I'll get a bag when I go, but it'll give you room to put your more sought after stuff, because it's just got like a camera pouch that I don't use, where I just kind of drop stuff in there while I'm walking around. But I'm going this year, and like I said, I might be in my hammock, I might be in my car, but I'm just going to hang with the peeps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to check out a few things. I'm going to film a little bit of stuff. And for the most part, I just want to meet a bunch of people.
I don't know what Josh is talking about, but he says he's afraid you're going to beat him to death with your dick.
Oh, they're saying it started with Twang Thang saying that if he saw me wearing a fanny pack in public, he wouldn't say a word because he knows I carry a big knife. And then Maddie said that he hopes I was wearing only the fanny pack, and it's just devolved from there.
If you sling it a little bit, you could shove your, on that pack, you could shove your dick down in the pocket.
Or modify it with a hole.
Yeah.
I pull a little hole and, like a little modified version of the old popcorn at the movies trick.
Pop it to pet the little doom. You could have a little sign on your shirt.
Yeah, that second bag, and that's another thing. I mean, maybe people don't. I'm sure this store exists everywhere. I got this bag, and it's a great bag. They have an Instagram account. I can't remember. Highland Tactical. I have no affiliate with these people. I bought this shit for like $20. I think I got it at Ross.
That's
Now
right.
that looks like a medical bag I used to carry as like a leg bag.
Or a big top kit.
Well, this is pretty big, man. I don't think you would. It's got a big pocket up here, and then it's also got like a little sneaky pocket in the back right here, and then it's two big pockets on the side here that side zip.
Doom was carrying real major medical stuff when he was carrying his. It might have been.
Here. I got that fixed blade in there, that fixed blade in there, that fixed blade in there. 2 GEC fixed blades.
That's awesome.
I think I had my O-light in there, but I think I lost it. I have a bug out, a pen, fucking couple, like 3 or 4 O-lights in that thing. It holds a lot of shit, is what I'm trying to say.
Do you just find that you've got too much going on to film a lot of the stuff? Because your pictures on Instagram are just breathtaking. I would think you could do little videos on just some of your collection. And
I did videos for a short bit, but hey,
we got a couple of visitors, and I should really just leave Shane in the lobby because I'm going to bring.
I gotta leave now. I gotta leave. You let the asshole American in.
I'm going to take him out and bring Jason in.
Because Shane's face is looking. Shane's looking like healthy. He's got some color in his cheeks.
It's because he covered up that giant bald head.
Welcome, Jason.
I just shaved the mustache off. That's the difference.
That is it. You look younger.
I made you big, buddy, not to make you uncomfortable, but just to get rid of Shane for a second. How are you, bud?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing great. I love that battle bar.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've been using it a lot this week.
Guys, have y'all seen that thing?
I'm laughing at this 2000 in knives and a $2 O-light. Flashlights get no respect. Just so you know, the one O-light that I had that is normally in there is at least $100. It was like a $90 to $100 O-light. It's not. I know O-lights aren't the greatest things in the world, but fucking A, man.
Hey, Jason, tell us about those things on the bottom that you showed today before you were heat treating them. They look unique.
Oh, these are from a guy named Combat Precision. He's like he makes custom 2011 guns, and he cut these out, I don't know, like a year ago or something, and he asked if I would grind them for him and finish them for him. So I'm just, helping him out.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he said I could keep one, but I'll probably just give them all to him.
What's that cool thing you've got up above those that's got the kind of beefy drop point?
This thing?
Point? Yeah, that thing.
This thing I made, someone wanted a J-Cal, and he heard that I'll do pretty much any blade shape. And he sent me a link to a knife. I forget who makes it. It's called the 1929. It's like a flipper knife. Oh, fuck, who makes it?
That's the Finch.
Finch, yes.
Makes 1929.
Yeah, so I basically copied that blade. It has a full flat grind. I tapered the blade stock, so it goes from, I'm not even sure, but it goes to about 1/8 of an inch. It tapers down, like right here.
Wow. Yeah, yeah.
It's a full flat, so it's super thin.
Dude, that is so cool.
Yeah, and then I did a little bit of a recurve, just to pimp it out a little bit, so it wasn't exactly like, the 1929, so it wasn't exactly the same.
See, that is a fixed blade. It almost has kind of a how do you call it? A Nesmic? Has kind of a Nesmic look to it.
Yeah, it was pretty tough to do, honestly, because I was trying to copy that blade shape, and
yeah.
I wanted to thin it out because, it seemed like he wanted something super slicey. I don't know what he's going to use this for. Maybe some weird fishing shit or something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, it was pretty fun. And then he just sort of let me pick the material. I just used fat carbon fiber. I actually used black micarta liners just to give it some different texture at the bottom. It's hard to see, but once it wears in, it'll show up more, you know?
Bravo, dude. I mean, that looks absolutely stunning. I can see, and I don't know what you'd call that, but where you say it tapers, when I look at the side of the blade, I can see where you've got it perfectly, like, hold it the other way. There you go. No, I'm sorry, where you can see the side of the blade.
Like this?
Yeah. So that little,
this
where
part.
yes, that looks really, really cool.
I did 2 plunge lines. I did one going that way, one going that way, and then I blended them.
Wow. And because you've got it so, it looks so precise on both sides.
Yeah, it was fucking kind of tough to do, not gonna lie. Because I, you know, like I almost like use the belt grinder like you know, like shade it in, you know, like, you know, feather it in so it's all one. You know, because on a, you know, you got your little, you know, you got the lines. On like your plunge lines, you'll have like these little chingaderas right here, you know? And I blended them away because there was 2. I don't know if that makes sense.
It kind of does. You're talking a language that I just find awesome. I mean,
And
it's
then
just
this
really,
one, look how thin this one gets.
yeah. That looks similar to, I mean, you've come such, not to say that you weren't always there, but I mean, Doom and I were talking about it earlier, just watching your post, you're just getting slicker with every one you make.
This one's for my buddy at the shop, Jordan. This one came out pretty sleazy.
That is beefy looking.
Yeah, it gets pretty gnarly. But what was cool, I took it to the tattoo shop before I did, you know, like any acid etching or anything like that. I just had the bevels ground in, and he's like, I like it like that. And I'm like, well, this is just like the shit left over the scale from the heat treat. He's like, yeah, fuck it, leave it. So I just basically hit it on a Scotch-Brite pad to clean it up a little bit, and just left the heat treat, you know, shit on it. And just ground bevels into it. But yeah, I had to be perfectly straight because I couldn't, you know, cover them later with like acid etching or anything. So I had to be super, you know, careful. You know?
I think it's just awesome, dude. I mean, your work speaks for itself. I mean, what do you guys think in the chat? Does that not look clean? Is all get out? And the sharpening choil, dude, I mean, it's just all done right. And the handle looks really comfortable.
Yeah, it's just simple. He wanted just simple black, all black G10, black G10 pins, nothing fancy, no disco shit, you know?
Right.
Yeah. And then, oh, here's your little guy. I'll send this with the battle bar, maybe tomorrow or Monday.
No rush, dude. That's beautiful. I've been talking that one up a lot.
Yeah, he's cool. What else? Oh, look, I got some cool stabilized wood in.
That's going to open your palette up. Yeah.
And then I got the Ultim shit.
So do you just learn to work with that when you get it, Jason? I mean, because I know that's kind of your process.
Yeah, I just wing it, dude. Figure it out as I go.
The best way.
Yeah, and then look, I made this little chopper.
I love the chopper, the killer chopper.
Yeah, just so this was one of the first J-Cals, and I just kind of like, some guy hit me up. He's like, I want some sort of a chopper. So I or like a little cleaver. So I just rough cut this blade shape in and then heat treated it. And then the guy never got back to me. So I just freaking left it super simple, you know?
Are you selling that one, or have you sold it already?
No, one guy was interested, but he never got back to me, so.
Well, dude, let us know. Do you see what Urban Woodsman said? I know you're not looking, but he said you need to put that on a shirt. No disco shit on one of your shirts.
Yeah, the disco shit. You know what I mean?
Chicago 23. How are you, brother? Howdy, Ed, channel member.
This one's for what's his name, Stevie?
Yeah, Stevie says he's really loving his dive down your rabbit hole, working through them with you and the whole process. What's he going to use that one for? That's a cool little slicer or a cutter.
Yeah, I was surprised. I just posted this with some, like just rough ones I had laying out, and he liked it. So, yeah, I'm just going to keep this one pretty simple, dude. Micarta, maybe do some pens, maybe, just do a little bit of disco on it,
Well, I love seeing your work show up on EDC Roundtable. I don't know if you and Master Joe have talked yet, but I know he's doing a lot of work for your knives. And I'd love to see you guys come up with like a little standardized collab that y'all can do.
Yeah, I'm always down to do that stuff.
I like your mat, your Lancelot leather mat.
Yeah, you like that?
What I was saying earlier, Jason, is that you need to just start making a pile of these things, send them over to Joe, have Joe make sheaths for them, and then just hawk them right there on EDC Roundtable.
Agreed. The ones you find simple that don't really challenge you as much. I know how you like to get and make them all totally unique, and you can still make them unique, but just keep your more simplified patterns that you can kind of whoop out. And y'all do little drops. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, these like this type of like Warnies are super easy for me now. Like any type of Warncliffe, because it's just one long hollow grind. It's pretty easy,
And I think Warnies are
compared to that. It's shit's easy right there.
Right. And how about the little like J-Cal shape when you do it? Is that a little bit more work? When I say the J-Cal shape, the little original shape above the one that you got with the Finch blade.
Like, hold on here. Like these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these are. I mean, yeah, they're pretty. I mean, they're all not. Okay, they're not that easy, but
they're all hard, dude. I mean, we know they're not easy.
But yeah, I really like doing just a basic drop point like this one. Oh, where is it? Oh, I'm sorry. It's over here. Hold on. I was trying out some different. This is for someone. Scott. Who's this one for? I don't know. I have it written down somewhere. But I really like doing like this shape.
See, I think that's a great size, a great shape.
With the little swedges, This is going to be acid etched, and I'm going to have satin bevels and swedges.
Did my big slab of 1/4 inch come in yet?
Hold on.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
That's the blade stock for the Doom blade.
For the Doom blade that Jason's gonna build your proto and stuff with?
Look at the difference.
Look at that, guys. That is ostentatious, and I love it.
And this, wait, which one? Let me show you what this looks like next to. This is pretty beefy. The battle bar, this is 3/16 of an inch. So yeah, it's pretty fucking serious, man. It's pretty wild.
I love it.
I mean, you figure it's 9 inches overall.
Yeah, so that's what she didn't say.
You're gonna use the majority of that piece.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna start on that probably Monday.
What stock is that?
Versalt is probably my favorite Spyderco, and a lot of people won't like to hear that, but I love the smock.
It's a 1/4 inch thick CPM 154.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I love CPM 154.
I like this guy, the little crew wear Spyderco. What's this one called? The Mannix or something?
The Mannix 2, yeah, that's a great knife.
Love it. I like it a lot better than that fucking what's the knife I just bought a week ago? That MSI.
Right.
Yeah, that thing's I'm not into that thing at all. If anyone wants to buy a MSI, hit me up.
That's the catch and release, huh?
Yo, definitely. Definitely.
How's the lock on it? Is it like an access lock, or is it?
It's pretty much this, to be quite honest. It's pretty much just like this. The Spyderco. Is that the access lock?
That's their what do they call it? Ball lock.
Ball lock. But isn't it the same thing except theirs has a little bar?
It has a ball that falls in the tang, and it also has that spring as opposed to the little,
Right.
the
So
little wacky springs.
the Microtech is set up the same way, but instead of the ball, it has a bar. Same.
So the MSI is the one that's the sheep's foot, right? That's not the stitch.
Right. Correct. I mean, it's a great knife. It's built amazing, but I just can't get past, dude. The action is just not. It's just not good at all.
Doesn't have that
detent.
any
axis locks because of that. I want a knife that's snappy, and I don't care how snappy you make an axis lock, it still feels like an axis lock.
Well, like
I don't like that swing, that swing, that feel down, that you can tell that point where it's unnatural feeling.
Yeah. Well, like on the Microtech, dude, like when I do like that, it seems like the blade's traveling -2 miles an hour. It's so gnarly. And I'm like, I feel like I can work knives pretty well. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You know, like
Metal Complex said the same thing when he reviewed his.
Yeah, just a little bit. I don't know. I mean, just not for me.
Yeah, I'd like to get my hands on one of the MSIs, but not at the, $200 over MSRP that people are charging for.
Well, that's why, wait for Blade Buddy, because I don't think you have to be there early to get one.
I think I got mine for $300.
Yeah, they were selling them at Blade Show for $275 plus tax. So you got a good deal.
Yeah, that's what I got it. Yeah, that's where I got it.
The more I look at that stabilized wood, the better I think it looks.
Dude, yeah. This is what I would call the fucking supreme disco shit. You know what I mean?
That looks like a nebula.
That is doomy. I love it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I bought this one thinking of you, actually. No, I did. Nice. The purple,
Thank you, Semper Fi.
The fuchsia.
So I don't know, man. We might have to make me like a hawk bill or something to put that on.
I can't wait till Atlanta, brother, to give you a big old hug.
Yeah, but this one's it's like the space scene in like Alien movie or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks nebula. I would call that your nebula finish.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it.
Yeah, well, that's about it. But I'm gonna try to.
We'll talk about you got the Tripper pre-order still going, because I'm gonna jump in on that.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try to do the thing we were talking about this week.
Right.
But yeah,
and everybody will be stoked.
Yeah, the pre-order will be up for the rest of the month. They said they'll be ready at the beginning of this, next month. But I mean, whenever they tell me stuff like that, I tack on an extra couple weeks, just in case.
Right.
JuhVon, Vince just dropped a super on you.
I told him thank you so much, and I told him I look forward to seeing him in Atlanta for the big hug. I was trying not to jump on Jason too much, but I posted him up there. Vince knows that he is one of my main brothers. Vince reached out to me, guys, early in my Instagram. I didn't even have a YouTube channel, and he knew I was a deadhead, and he hooked me up with a Hank that he'd gotten that had dancing bears on it. He didn't know me from Adam's House Cat. That dude's solid.
Nice. A lot of you guys are, though, right? Like, I notice people doing nice shit out of the blue all the time. It's pretty cool.
I only like people who give me free shit.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Everyone else here, you guys are fucking assholes.
Well, buddy, I've got your IG on our trolls line here, and I know that people reach out to you and think of you as just not only a killer member of the community, knife collector, but you're making the coolest shit that I'm aware of. I can't wait to get you in front of more people.
I'm trying. Oh, I have a possible... so quite a few people hit me up about this little battle bar. So, like, what if it was a folder?
That would be badass.
Because I've seen the Benchmade one where it's basically a knife that looks like this, and they just cut the tip off and call it a pry bar. But it's not. It's not at all. It's just a knife with a flat tip. I don't know. I think
that's really cool.
I'm talking to someone about maybe doing a little collaboration, like titanium frame lock chingadera like this.
Buddy, I think that just goes to speak to the power of your designs, that they speak to more people than just us crazies in these chats. You're onto something just awesome.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't be afraid to open shit with this one, you know?
Not at all. And if it had a good locking system, why would you be opposed to having that as a folder, right?
Right. And that's the one thing I'm like, I'll probably ask all you guys, you know, when we get closer, if it was a folder, like what type of locking system should it be? You know, should it be a frame lock? Should it be like one of these things? That's why I ask you guys about all that stuff, you know?
Yeah, these guys know more than me for sure.
Well, all the changes, last minute changes on the gripper and even the tripper that's coming out, were all from the people, you know, and that collect knives, you know, guys like us, just regular people.
Absolutely, my man.
Well, that's about it.
Dude, I appreciate you, Jason, taking time away from the family to share stuff with us.
Yeah, man, not a problem.
We love you, brother.
I'll try to work on some cool stuff this week and hang out with you guys next week or the week after.
Anytime, buddy, and I'll be in touch with you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon, Jason.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys so much for letting me creep on here for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, anytime. You're the highlight of the show, my friend.
Well, thank you. Tell my wife that.
I will. Put her in
All right,
earshot.
guys. Have a good night.
All right, bud.
Yeah.
Chaz says a backlock.
A backlock?
Might be good for the battle bar.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Any ideas, dude? Everything anyone tells me or suggestions they have, I think of everyone. Like none of them go unseen or unnoticed.
Yeah, and then One Moon says I'd leave no springs to break or replace. So it might be just kind of the locking system that makes sense. You never know.
Well, real quick, what would be cool is if it was maybe a frame lock, but had a thing like that cool knife Mr. Doom let me check out, that District 9 knife, where it's a frame lock, but it has the little extra lock so that the frame, you know, that the lock bar can't move.
Right.
Something like that, you know. So if you actually were going to hard use it or, you know, use it to pry, you wouldn't have to worry about any lock slip type stuff happening, you know.
Ed, we've been asking that. Old Dark bounced early on because he took his sound problems too personally, and we're trying to get him to come back because we do want him here with us.
Patina, I saw your comment earlier, and I just want to say the only thing I influence people to do is unfollow me and vomit.
You're not in
How are you doing, Steve?
The riches. I'm doing great, man.
Glad you could join us, buddy.
Yeah, I had to have a family movie night, so bounced in once all the kids went to bed. So
Nice.
Well, you should be spending time with Mama. Now I feel guilty.
yeah, one of the youngest one wanted to sleep with us, so I'm gonna be on the couch tonight. So
Just getting comfortable early.
I'm gonna be. It's gonna be a late night. Once this is done, some YouTube, maybe a movie. And,
yeah, well, we've got Said Stevie
play with
starting.
knives.
I think midnight. I think is where they started. Since Manus Faction wanted to stay in that Arizona time frame. Kyle Coonley.
What's up, Kyle? Oh, man.
What happened to Edgeless?
What I miss?
Edgelord.
Anything good and exciting?
Hey Shane, are you still in here? I think Shane might have just bounced altogether. He might have had enough with us when he came in and Jason was there and he couldn't rant. What's up, Jason?
Bye, guys. No, I was just saying bye.
I love you, brother.
All right, love you guys too. I'll see you guys the next week or the week after.
See us as soon as you can, my man.
Later, brother.
Was Shane on a tangent?
No, Shane had just gotten in and he was kind of like all of us. We were minimized and he stuck around for a little while and then he bounced. He probably had to go rub one out.
He's a celebrity, and if he doesn't get enough airtime right on the, right up front, then he's got better things to do. So
Does he need to take Does he need the Devo title from Kevin? Then
he's the Paris Hilton of the knife review world.
I mean,
and I mean that in all ways.
Is it like a Paris Hilton lazy eye? So is it like a Paris Hilton Nicole Richie thing? So like Kev might be Paris Hilton and Shane might be, Nicole Richie not getting enough airtime.
Exactly.
Or like a Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan thing. Someone's going to get kneed.
Shane's going to be the one carrying the baseball bat.
That's funny. I don't think I've ever talked to Shane. I think I've left some comments on some of his videos, and Sunday nights I'll plug his, his thing in and fall. This sounds really sad. I'll listen to it as I fall asleep. I'm listening to him. And
that is sad. You fall asleep stories over that guy.
I know. I need noise, and like during the work season, I go to bed super early because we get up early, and my wife's usually got some crappy ass TV show on. I need to drown out whatever she's watching in bed. So I'll put on documentaries and fall asleep to whatever. Shane is one of them on Sunday nights.
Yeah, Shane.
He's kind of a living documentary on the American South.
He's a vision into what could happen if you live on Sand Mountain.
Was it last week we were talking about
He's a living PSA for inbreeding.
What the hell was it? This one? Was it Joe Rogan had a guy on? I think it was this one, or Pocket Metal. You had a, God damn it!
The white underbelly, soft white underbelly.
Not Pocket Metal. I was watching your live stream, and you guys were talking about that. About the people. Is it in Appalachia or in the Appalachian Mountains?
Yeah. There's there's a photographer that's a really great photographer that spent some time in Kentucky.
He's done stuff,
but I don't know
like
it's the same person.
It's not the same person, Pocket Metal?
I don't think it's that one, because when I looked it up on YouTube, the photos didn't look like his photos.
Okay.
And that guy,
the guy that was on Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah, the guy that was on Joe Rogan is the one that I shared, because he used to start just in LA, and then he went to Appalachian because somebody had told him that he needed to go investigate that area because it was so, underrepresented in terms of the public.
You can.
I remember.
Yet's trying to tell me who it is. What's the name again? Shelby Lee Adams is actually from Kentucky and is a photographer that did that same thing a long time ago. And this guy's coming in from California like he fucking invented something new and trying to be that guy. So fuck that. No, I'm just joking. I don't even know who this other guy is.
I think that whoever one of those guys
technically been done before.
did it with like the Hells Angels, and I haven't seen that documentary yet or whatever. But I was watching, Squirrel. It was like 10 years ago. I was watching some news magazine show or whatever it was about the Appalachian Mountains. About they drink so much Mountain Dew, like their teeth are falling out of their heads. I mean, the inbreeding's not helping, but like
the meth isn't helping either.
The meth, but the copious amounts of Mountain Dew, like they're just like walking around with like 2 liter. Like,
and just drinking it constantly, like it's their water. It's their water, literally.
Yeah.
Let me just go ahead and interject there. All rednecks drink a shit ton of Mountain Dew.
Do they? Okay.
Those people. Yeah.
I like that they're making boozy Mountain Dew now. It's basically a hard seltzer flavored like Mountain Dew.
Really?
I'll see if I still drank, I would probably gravitate towards that.
I bought a 12-pack of it maybe 6 months back when I saw it, and I drank all 12 of them in one sitting.
Was it really good?
It was one of the multi-packs. There's like 4 different flavors in there. The traditional Mountain Dew was really good. The watermelon, not so much. I think they had like a strawberry or something or whatever, not so much. But the regular look at that muffin top. What is happening there?
That's not a muffin top.
Baby.
The funny thing is there's nothing on the sides. It's all in the front.
Uh-huh.
It's all right here.
That's a what would you call that?
Making fun of me.
That's
Kyle's
the
making
man
fun of me.
paunch right there.
That's called demonetization.
See what Kyle said?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the Code Red
That's why
and
I
the
showed him that I was
regular
wearing
Dew flavored
pants, not
ones
shorts.
were decent. The other ones I drank just because I was drinking them.
Satisfaction 100% agree. I was loving the blueberry or the berry Dr. Pepper, and then they discontinued it, and I get the cherry Dr. Pepper, and they slipped in that freaking strawberry and cream, and I picked up 2 by mistake and took the second one back that I didn't open and swapped it out because that stuff is harsh. Tastes like you're biting a bunch of sour cream.
Did you know that synthetic vanilla flavor comes from the gland in a beaver's ass?
No, but that doesn't surprise
Here's the thing,
me.
though. They say that, but you know how fucking much of a pain in the ass it would be to go around milking beavers' asses for fake vanilla?
Hey, bro, there's factories that do it. Who's to say that it doesn't look like some weird freaking Dexter's Laboratory thing going on down
like
there?
The Matrix, where all these beavers are hooked up.
It's like a milking station,
Seems
but
like
they got
a lot of
vacuums
effort
hooked up
for
to
fake
beaver
vanilla
butts.
is all I'm saying.
I don't know, man. Have you seen how much vanilla bean is in the
National
store?
Beaver Day.
Hey, think about it. People pay extra for coffee that's been eaten by a meerkat and shit. And then they collect the beans.
That's a big difference. That's expensive. Vanilla, fake vanilla is cheap.
Right.
You see where I'm going with this?
Well, I'm just saying that people will do nasty shit.
People will do nasty shit, but you're talking about like something you pay 50 cents for versus something that people pay.
Hey, bro, I'm not talking. I don't know how they freaking get it. I just know where it comes from. All right.
I think
the imitation.
Is that like an urban legend, though? Is what I'm saying?
Bro,
here?
It's real deal.
So you're better off buying the imitation vanilla because it's not out of a beaver's ass.
No,
real stuff is from the beaver's ass.
No, the other way around.
Other way around. So
the
synthetic is from the beaver's ass.
From the beaver's ass.
Oh, gonna have to tell my. Oh, all right. I mean,
it's confusing.
The FDA regards castorium, is what it's called, as natural flavoring. It's beaver butt goo. This is type in imitation vanilla flavor beaver, and the very first thing that comes up is a National Geographic article about how they milk beaver assholes to get this stuff.
Imitation vanilla.
I can't believe you're
Ladies and gentlemen, JuhVon's knife addicted life has just jumped the shark.
I hope
jumped the beaver.
Okay, I found something that's called guanicol. It's not the right thing. So hold on. Is there beaver goo in your artificial extract?
Is there beaver goo? Wait.
All right, I've got an alt recipe.
When you say beaver goo, is that poo or is that like spooning?
We're gonna see. We're gonna learn together.
I think it's like, you know how dogs have like their butthole sacs that are
anal glands. I used to have to do my little poodle's anal glands. That was a nightmare.
I think that's basically like beaver butthole anal glands.
So let's not let that play. Rumors, what is castorium? Castorium is a heavily scented brown or tan goo that is secreted from a beaver's castor gland, which is locatingly nail-bitingly close to its anal gland. Beavers use castorium to communicate with each other about marking territory, establishing colonies, and determining predators.
It smells pleasant.
Yeah,
you were right.
Check it out. In the past, it was burned by the Romans, and trappers have been relying on it to lure animals, but it's also been a natural food flavoring for nearly the last century. And yes, it has been used as a replacement for vanilla, raspberry, strawberry, so it's probably in my Dr. Pepper, and some flavorings in food. is generally recognized. Man, this is fascinating, guys.
Yeah.
You'll never know what you're going to run into on JuhVon's Knife Addicted Life.
I told you, man. I wasn't just talking. Well,
Let's see if we can find some pictures.
You want to find pictures?
Sorry,
I've
I'm
been
back, but
making it.
wait a
How do
minute.
you-
Wait a minute. I was
How is
listening.
castorium extracted?
I have a question. You said Romans?
Romans used
We're
it
using-
in their lamps to power, and I guess they were milking beavers to power their lamps.
Beaver. When I think of beavers, I think of like a North America. Are there beavers in, you know?
This is like
I think so. I think
cow-sized beavers that secrete
just-
enough butt juice to
When I
burn
think
legs.
when I think of the beaver, you think of like maybe like Europe or North America or beaver. I don't know. I guess now
Look at that one.
All this, and today
Now you gotta go-
California is National Beaver Day. And
There you
You
go.
got beavers in ancient Rome. I mean,
Looking up
this is
beaver
just a whole lot of.
Oh, look, they got one. Scroll up. Right
that
there.
one.
Oh hell, to the
Oh,
left!
To the left. There.
Dear
There's a
fucking
butthole.
Christ, no!
What's that say?
Does he
Do
have
you
two
ever
buttholes?
wonder who first
let's
flipped
just visit.
over a
Let's go
beaver and
check it
discovered
out.
the secretions their anal glands tasted like raspberry?
Look at that mane.
Yeah. There's here that you exactly do. Someone figured this out. Like, but why and
Because they were
how?
licking beaver butt, and they said it tastes like vanilla.
Oh,
Or
no,
raspberry.
Somebody who discovered licking toads and went on a wild exploration to see what else he could.
I'm gonna
lick.
say it was Shane's descendants.
I kind of wish I went to bed. I mean,
We descended. Look at this.
I love you guys, but this is I thought we were gonna talk about that. This is really like, I mean, we're getting into Shane territory. A lot of butthole talk, and I mean,
I
he wants
texted
to
Shane
tell a
and told
Navy
him to
story.
come back. Let's see if he.
I mean, it's literally every weekend. It's just some Navy story about how some doctor sodomized him.
Well, I think
And-
that's fascinating because again, I'm not.
Wait, the beavers or I mean, which one? Shane getting touched by doctors or the beaver? Sorry, the beaver is fascinating. I think Shane probably has a lawsuit. I feel bad for Grateful Panic that has to sit there and kind of moderate that and listen to that every Sunday.
I'm so ready
Just
for
do
him to
these.
come back and do his own lives too. I mean, not that I don't love him on. I love them together, but Grateful Panic's lives were just freaking epic, and I wish he'd go back to doing Tuesday nights.
Yeah,
That's funny.
I mean, you're just got to milk your beaver to get the, your vanilla latte.
Dude's like, I'm so sick of hearing about buttholes that he drives right back into it.
I was just reading the Flintstone comment,
Oh,
Mimo,
okay.
it was my grandpa.
Did you guys get any new knives this week? Sorry, I missed that earlier. I just jumped straight into the butthole talk.
I got this little guy in. I don't know if I've showed it off yet. The Luck Knives Squall in Magna Cut. It's Mike's first
Naf's,
drop. Yep.
Naf's knife, right?
Yep. It's one of his first releases. I got it via Kevin. It's a G10. Just a nice little slicey Magna Cut knife. It's a good little sheath that he did. I was kind
I
of
didn't
impressed
even-
with it.
I wouldn't have even known that until I knew he was making starting. He sold off a bunch of his knives to start making knives, and you know how YouTube is, like you watch it on your TV and it just kind of suggests whatever. And I just kind of stumbled upon it yesterday about some Luck knives because he was reviewing the Maverick or something.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh shit, that's Nav.
I'm putting his IG on there, and I'm not putting a link but this is how you find him on IG, and that's where he's kind of promoting what he's doing now. But now he's building some bigger ones than the Squall, and he's really progressing. I mean, he's doing some really cool stuff with Terravantum. He's working on that again, Patina, he said on a post today, and just really, really upping his game. It's amazing, I guess, how these guys progress so much faster than I ever would. Did I tell you guys about this pyrite?
Yes.
That has the skin on it? I figured we did.
That was the first thing we talked about.
I thought
Yeah.
so.
I just got this weird little thing. It's
What's
an
that?
old one.
Make
But
it do for a sec.
it's the Tucson 78.
Ooh.
I'm kind of on this
An
integral kick.
integral?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm on this integral kick. I got this one. So this one's really strange. The way it's designed, you have to get a really weird angle on it because the lock bar is like the entire side of the knife.
Yeah.
And the clip sits right on the lock bar. So you have to get a really weird angle to get it to actually flip.
Look at the blade. That is so unique. Who designed that? Is that just a Tucson internal design?
That's a night morning design.
Gotcha.
And I also got this one. I got a video coming out on this one on Monday. That's the Reich knife Tule, and it's the world's first and only all G10 integral.
Oh wow!
So that one's really cool. My only gripe on this one is that the jimping right here is super, super, super grabby. So when you get on it, like
you feel it.
if you pull back a little bit, it's fine. But if you choke up and get up on that flipper at all, it gets really uncomfortable.
Those are both really cool knives, though.
Yeah, I'm probably going to take like a fret file to it that I use to kind of recrown my bass guitar frets. I think I might take a file to it. But yeah, I need to do a video, just like a all integral video, I think.
That'd be cool content, dude. Everything you do is good. So, I mean, if you come up with ideas, put them out there.
Yeah. I come up with them, and then the good idea fairy says, hey, that's a great idea. And then I tell a bunch of people those ideas, and then I never get around to filming it. And then I see those same people come out with the videos. They're like, well, he hasn't put out the video yet, so I'm going to do it.
Keep those things in a notebook, buddy.
Mattisfaction just can't come up with his own ideas. I mean, that's what you're going to get.
Do you guys do you watch Edged Mindset, or I think he changed back to his old name, Jiju 1313?
Yes, Jiju.
He's an old. I mean, I get he's got like 30,000 subs. He's an old school like.
Yeah, he's been around for like 10 years. He actually just followed me not too long ago. I didn't know who it was because he followed me and I didn't recognize the name. Because he changed back to the old name, I guess.
Yeah, and I didn't know the first name, and I had sold. I mean, this is months ago now. I had sold him a knife, and it was a whole process that didn't need to be. But I'm like, he's like, just email me this, and I'm like, that sounds like a scam. Right. And then I find him. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you got like 30,000 subs. You hit me up on Instagram. Anyway. Yeah. He just put up a video the other day about like diminishing returns from like American makers to Chinese makers to are you finding like some of the, like the Riyadh and stuff like that, like the prices are creeping up. And at what point are you gonna get to is it worth it anymore? What are you getting for your money? Because they were, a couple years ago, it was like you're getting a fantastic knife for $250
or $300 less than what you could get.
Yeah, and now they're $300. Now they're. I was talking with Kev. I think it was a year ago now, almost. But like the JK, whatever version they're on now, someone posted up their spec on.
Pat.
On the Facebook group, like they'd spec a J cape at like $1,500 or something like that.
Yeah,
With
with the Damasteel.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's just something obscene company ripping people off. His knives are so incredibly overpriced. He could be selling knives that he's selling for $350 to $400. He could be selling them at $200 and still be making a huge profit. His knives aren't that special. They're slab bodies.
Yeah, slab. There's no milling,
with barrel spacers and a compound grind. That's it.
And I would really like that knife if it had just a better finger choil, like if I could grip up on it. But for the money, yeah, I mean, those things were going for silly money on the secondary, but then you get into like CKF and like that new Eagle Rock. Was that thing like $600 and some dollars? That Trezula design. Like I really like that knife, but I'm like, God, I mean, you're almost $700.
It was $635, I think, the basic one.
Yeah. So
I paid $700 for that. That's another Reich made integral ADV.
Is that the ADV one? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the ADV Scavenger.
That thing is banana. That looks like from the movie Aliens. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the work that went into making that, you can definitely go, wow.
Doesn't Andre, like, I've got an ADV. Like, that was the thing, like, talking with Dave, he's like, you know, where's it made? He says it's there. And I guess there's a list of.
I think some of his knives he makes there or has made there, but I know that Reich also OEMs for him. So I don't know. I don't know how much of his stuff comes from Reich, how much of it comes from him, how much of it is made by Reich and assembled by him. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I do
be transparent.
But his stuff is, for what you're paying for it. It's hand over fist better than stuff that you would spend that kind of money on elsewhere.
Absolutely. And I understand that's the exchange rate, right?
And these things are cheap. If you buy it directly from him, I mean, it's like they're cheap.
Yeah, he's got a button. Isn't there a button lock version of that one now?
Yeah, he's got a button, or he's got all sorts of, like, if you go on his site, he's got all sorts of stuff, and you can order it, and it. So,
I've met him at both Nashville custom shows the last 2 years. He and his wife worked the booth, and he's the nicest guy. I mean, the ones he makes are the ones that have that Satu Dave kind of flat-looking scale, and he also has the ones that are real intricate, which he doesn't make. I do think he assembles them.
Yeah, yeah. Reich is absolutely the OEM on a lot of the more intricately milled. At least this one, the Scavenger, is definitely.
And he was very transparent in terms of saying, "Yeah, I make these, and these are the ones that I have partnerships with Reich, and they're just super nice people." That's why I didn't buy any of his knives, but my buddy A to Z EDC owns like 3 of them. I think
I'm hoping he's at Blade Show this year. I'd like to meet him.
Yeah, I think he. I don't remember if I saw him at Blade last year, but that's because I was overwhelmed by it.
He's got a booth listed on the vendor thing. I just don't know if it's going to be him or if it's going to be.
It'll be him and his wife. He doesn't have a bunch of people. It's just you, and that's what's so refreshing about meeting some of these people is you realize they're not a riot. They're literally making these things in their garage, or they have small partnerships.
Doesn't GTC Gus, God, his last doesn't he have an integral that's kind of similar to that? That's got that rounded spine. That's just real crazy on the.
Who is it?
GTC Gus Ticini. So he's a Brazilian knife maker.
I know who you're talking about. I don't know if he does.
I thought he had a crazy kind of.
I know Reich. I know Reich has the Thor series, which is kind
of looks like an integral.
But, Urban Woodsman, that's the way it was just an interesting video because it was at what point do the, because they realize they're making, and I mean, the quality's there. I mean, no one's saying they're not nice knives, but it's like, all right, I'm paying $700 now for a Chinese knife, and a Chris Reeve might be $650 or what. I mean, but it's all on style. It depends on what the
Right.
person.
Yeah,
And think
there's
about
not a
it.
lot of American makers
That's right. The
putting
styles
out
don't
shit.
vary that
So
much.
Yeah.
You've got Hinderer, you've got Koenig, you've got TRM, Chris Reeves, Hinderer. Did I already say that? Medford, Strider. I know, but you've got a lot of these makers, and then
You
you've
do.
got Chinese designs. So you're not going to see a
Yeah.
lot of the fresher designs being made by American makers, because people like Brian Brown, you know, he can make a few, but when he has to get
Yeah.
enough out for production, he can't find an American manufacturer to touch it.
Yeah,
The quality is
and
also
he
just
was
not
kind of
there.
talking about the minimums might be going up and the wait times. He was like, he made a really good point, because it was like the buy or the pre-sales, and if you're waiting a year, 2 years now, or how long do those guys wait for that Liam Ma?
Yeah,
That
still
15
they're
months
still
or
waiting.
something.
They're still
Yeah.
waiting for the ones
I
that were
mean,
sent
so
back.
they're realizing like they can put out some stuff, and I mean, if you're getting bumped out, like a knife trend or fad could, by the time your knife that you pre-sold finally comes to market, people could be like,
It's old news.
Be
That's
like,
why there's so many
yeah.
catch and releases
And
Yeah.
and
on those things.
you can't, for somebody like Jason, I think he'll say it, you know, he's got someone who does these in customs, but it just drives it out of the reach of so many people, right? And
Yeah.
this isn't even a US made custom. This one's not. This is a production, but the one that is made by, I think the guy, what is it, SS? You should know, Beard, maybe. Who does Jason's customs on these, the prototypes? Out of not
Oh,
Thailand.
I don't know.
Did you
Yeah,
say
anyway.
Indonesia or
Indonesia. It's definitely
I
Indonesia.
remember you talking about, yeah.
Yeah, I know it's Indonesia. I don't know the name.
Yeah, and I know Satu knows, but anyway, that's an Indonesian made knife, and I want to say they were 650. They're on his website still, but you could get a custom for 650, or you could get this knife for right under 300.
Mhm.
So you still got the economy of scale that I agree with you, Steve. If it continues to go up, at what point?
Yeah.
But I don't think Americans are going to make some designs that we might be attracted to, because I don't know about y'all, but I like certain knives, but they're knives that'll come into the market that for whatever reason make my dopamine fire. Like, I was never looking for a knife that looks like this until I saw it.
Yeah, it's got to be, I don't think it matters where it's made. It's got to, you have to visually be attracted to that knife.
Mhm.
It can't
That
just
was
be,
attracting.
oh,
I think
I've been
there's
after
just
one of
such a
these for a
huge
long
missed
time.
opportunity for these American companies, be it Benchmade, Spyderco, ZT,
Great Eastern Cutlery.
even the Hinderers and the Medfords and so on. There's so much missed opportunity for them to scoop up these young, hungry designers that are pushing all their designs to overseas OEMs because they can't afford the US made stuff. If these companies would scoop up these young designers, they might actually become viable again. Because right now there's nothing in any of those companies I just listed that makes me go, ooh, I want one of their knives.
You know, and he talked about like, and I don't want to, I'm not naming names, but like you've seen a lot of YouTubers or just anybody in general. You design a knife and you send it overseas and have it made. And he was, I'll have to go back and watch the video to say what he said exactly. But have you heard of Stang Blade Works?
No.
Derek Stang, he's a small maker out of Canada. I've got a fixed blade of his, and he makes two knives, a fixed blade and and I've been for 2 years I've been trying to get one of these, and he taught himself, and he was like, that's not the case. You don't have to send stuff overseas. You can teach yourself how to do this in your garage. And he spent the time and bought the machines, and it's this like small batch runs, and it's a knife I'm dying. Like I said, I've been trying to get for 2 years and still haven't got. And
that's a kind of heavy-handed statement, though. You can teach yourself how to do this, sure, if you can survive. Go to your job, do your job, spend the money, buy the machining, have a place to set up a shop, so on. You know, you hear it all the time. Anyone can do this. Sure, anyone can do this if you got 10 grand in capital to buy grinders. And
he's like in Canada, so he's in Canada. I don't know. I think he's an electrical engineer, but it's all a side job. It's just a hobby. He still has his main job. He does this on the weekends, so that's why like once a month you might get a drop.
So we got.
I'm going to make that a challenge to myself. I'm going to look up 15. And see what it would cost to get a general setup to do everything. Not talking CNC, but I'm talking like grinders, sanders, belts.
That wouldn't even you would need to start. That's how limited my
heat treat.
That's why I wish Medford has talked about it, and I think he's expanded. Like he's OEM for Strider, and what's the other one? There's another knife that he OEMs, the Vermont or the Mongrel.
Yeah,
but
we're talking $700 knives, though.
They're very Medford looking knives. But if he could, because he has the money, and he could expand to make OEM stuff for makers that's not Medford. And if he would do that, I think he could expand his business. I mean, the dude's doing okay, but he's talked about buying a steel company.
Yeah.
I mean, he could literally, he has the resources that he could do this and do OEM stuff, but make it the way the maker wants it. So more people would gravitate towards him to do, because they have the skills. He has the skill set. He has the employees. He can get the materials. But if he would just kind of flex a little bit to make knives that the maker knives.
Yeah. You run CNC machines, dude. It's just a matter of taking the print, somebody creating it in CAD and pressing start.
But if you listen to Kevin and some of the other designers, when they've tried to approach him and other U.S. makers, and I don't know if anybody's approached TRM because I can't imagine them having this attitude, but it's almost like they don't give them a legitimate shake at being designers because they've never made knives. And that's kind of coming from what Kevin's experience was trying to find an OEM manufacturer, that they won't give him the time of day because he's a nobody. He's a YouTuber, but he's not.
I don't know a whole lot. Like, is it vape? I can't say it. Vape. Do they make fixed blades themselves? And then the folders, the Mongrel or whatever it's called, they have Medford make?
I think that's what happens.
No, it's a Great Eastern Cutlery fixed blade.
Okay. I don't know. Like, I wish and he's hinted at it before, but I wish he would, and maybe he will. I mean, you see him talk to someone like Ramon Chavez.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, Jesus Christ, that's the perfect pairing. Like, just make his fucking knives for him,
And it keeps your machine running. So just from a business standpoint, I think
and that's the thing. Greg runs Monday through Thursday. They work Monday through Thursday. You could hire an entire workforce and go a whole second shift if that's what you want. Like, talking about American jobs and this and that.
There you go.
That's
a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Wait, what's this?
A general setup that sustainable for making your first 100 knives will cost you $87, $43, $21 in tools and supplies.
Oh yeah, yeah. Medford's like that his first that OTF. He said someone asked him how much does it cost. He's like, the first one cost me $240,000.
Right, because you got a tool everything.
Yeah, he goes, that's what it cost me to make.
Well, and I
But,
think when you run into situations, and it's not Greg's fault, but Medford or Hinderer, they can. I see 4 days a week. You could easily open the other 3 days up for other employees
Yeah.
to make a living and do OEM
Yeah.
stuff. But I think they all realize that they can keep their machines running with their own designs because there's enough demand, which is kind of not the way to look at it from helping to pull the American Knife Company up, right?
Yeah, and he's talked, like I said, he's talked about buying a steel company, and he's talked about opening up something like this in the future. And you just, and like as us, you're like, yeah, let's do it right now. And I get it takes time and money, and it would be nice if he would just if he could get to that point where he could, other than Strider and like, he could make these guys knives for a reasonable price in the knife that they want made, not a Medford version of their knife.
Right.
But
I like made in that factory.
You wouldn't buy anything made in that factory? He's a nice guy, dude. He puts on a show. That he's a big show.
His show is why I would never buy from him.
Yes,
but he gets it.
I don't dig his little patriotism act.
Me neither.
I'm a veteran too. I did my time in combat, and I don't sit there talking crap trying to get people fighting with one another. But that's a whole other political. That's a political thing that
I would need bail money for getting thrown out.
Yeah, I wouldn't give that man a cent of my money.
Never, absolutely.
Well,
not. Mark River though, excellent fixed blades, made in America, no hate involved.
That's a cool looking blade. What is that?
That you know of, because maybe they're just quiet about it.
Well, hey, listen, at least they have the decency to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's his biggest. He's a loudmouth.
When I first saw his knives, I kind of almost liked them, and then I heard him talk, and I wanted to do nothing more than pound his face into the ground.
But you've got to respect, regardless of what he says.
Shit.
No.
Sorry,
but
I'm gonna bow out because I don't respect anything about that man.
You don't have to respect him, but just respect someone's right to say what they feel.
No. I do not respect the right to say hate-filled shit. I respect the right for me to put my foot up his stupid ass. But
that's how you vote with your dollars, and that's why I think it's crazy business to even, because I see it on Facebook. When I was on Facebook, stockbrokers that are talking about their favorite college football team or talking about politics. It's crazy because you're alienating half of your audience.
So I didn't want to upset anybody.
No, it's not that.
No.
It's just polarizing stuff, right? I mean, everybody knows that Greg is very, very polarizing, and I don't think anybody would disagree with that.
I think a lot of the conversation and what kind of led in.
Whoops!
Did you?
I didn't mean to do that, Doom. I was
just booted every. You're getting the bad hammer. Everybody's getting the hammer.
No, I think that if he would
soften his edges,
leave the politics out of his business practices, then he would probably have a lot more people wanting to spend money with him. I straight up had like a $2,000 Praetorian tie that was speaking with his wife, ex-wife, whatever she is. I'd been working with her for close to a month, just going back and forth on how I wanted this thing made. And right as I was about to pull the trigger was when he went off on his rant, which I saved and is uploaded on my channel, his rant that he put up and deleted within a minute. I caught it and I recorded that thing and I wound up putting it up on my damn channel.
Like, and he said
however long ago, and it was when the whole t-shirt thing happened. And when that happened and he started going off saying the crap that he was saying, I called up his wife the next day and I was like, no, I'm not buying this thing.
I totally agree. And that's something that I think he is, and I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but he is an intelligent enough dude to realize that he's alienating more than half of his population or his market, so to speak.
The problem is
But he's
that
okay with it because he said like they grow him. I mean, it's
his market is his market is the people that he's pandering to. He's pandering to the people that eat up and cheer for his little rants.
But see, I'm not.
but
I'm
I don't
not
do
that
that. And I know
guy at
Dave
all.
doesn't do that, and I know my best friend, who's a huge Medford fan, doesn't do that.
And I'm
It's a
100%
quality
in that
knife, and
camp that I don't believe any of his rhetoric, but it doesn't stop me from getting the few
Yeah.
knives that I
It's
have
a
from
show.
here because I can separate the two. But I
and I
should.
can also agree that he, at some point in time, had clones, and and you can see it. And
Everybody's got.
I just
clones,
wish,
man.
Oh, I know, but you wish but he's very vocal to say we're like. I don't really ever hear Hinderer talk about it, or Chris Reeve or Strider. They just do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he would probably be better off if he just did his thing. But at the same time, he's like, hey, we did better this month than last month, and we did better this month than the last month last year. And
Yeah,
it's
and
a lot.
all I was
so-
saying, not to get pocket metal, because he's one of my best friends, but I wasn't saying that I agree with hateful statements. I just think as long as you're not screaming fire in a theater, I don't know if he's crossed the line on what you would consider free speech, but I just really believe in people's right to say it and then deal with the consequences that they have to deal with, right? So if he's seeing sales drop or if he's seeing sales go up, he's still making people dislike him, and he's comfortable with that. So that's his right as an American. Who am I to say you can't do that?
Oh yeah, it's just like you're saying. I fought. I put on the uniform. I did my thing. I say it all the time. I may not agree with what you have to say, but I fought for your right to say it. But that also gives me the right to speak with my wallet.
And give you the
exactly.
So,
absolutely.
And that's exactly. You can vote with, and that's what people should do. It's about you. I don't want to get political because I don't like people getting upset and saying like trying to stop someone from, hey, that's your fucking opinion. You might not like it, but God damn it, you can say it. I don't have to listen to it.
But
yeah, you could say it. I'm going to tell you that I don't like it though.
Yeah, and that's everybody's right.
That's debate. That's debate. To be able to talk to somebody and question them on their beliefs and have a forum where you can do that would be so valuable for everybody, but it always just descends into I'm not going to talk to you or I don't agree with you. But what Doom just said is what the world needs more of. People talk to each other, because even if you don't agree, and if you're never going to agree, you might learn why that person feels the way they do, and it makes you more tolerant to the person behind the idea, if that makes any sense. Because people get polluted in their ideas from the environment, from their family, from all kinds of places. It doesn't make them right.
So the world is an echo chamber right now, and with the internet and with just over the past, I would say 6-ish years, it's turned into I've said it before, I'm sure you've heard me say it. I believe in the 1 + 1 = 3 mentality. You got one person with an idea, you got another person with an idea. You come together, you talk, and now you got 3.
That's right.
But you both came with an idea and you all left with 3 ideas. So.
But it's almost like institutionally they're putting up barriers that prevent that from happening as frequently. And I don't know how you put those institutional barriers up, but it just doesn't seem, maybe we're just less tolerant for trying to do that. But I agree.
I don't know. I put it up not too long ago. I always say, if somebody needs an ear to scream into, just hit me up and I'll talk to you. And I had a guy hit me up and he's like, hey man, so this is going to sound weird, but I just want to talk. And I'm like, all right, man, here's my phone number. And he called me up the next day and we talked for probably a good 2.5, maybe 3 hours. And we talked about everything from walking the dogs to politics to this. and we had completely different views on a lot of the things that we talked about. And at the end of the day, he's like, "Thanks, man. I needed that. That's what I needed. I just needed someone to talk to." And it was
There's
really
so much
cool.
more that drew y'all together than the differences.
It was just really cool, sitting down and talking to somebody in a fashion where it could be a discussion and not a, you don't think what I think, you're the enemy.
Right.
That's what I wish we could get back to. It's just like you said, everything's got to be this lately.
It's so long as this right here, the internet and the social bubbles exist, it will never get back to that, because people have no reason to need to go outside of their echo chamber.
They can find their own little group.
Once you found your own little bubble, there's no need to go outside of it. And then everybody outside of that bubble with a different thought process becomes the enemy trying to pop your bubble.
Yeah.
But
that's the way I see it.
And that's very, very accurate, because it's self-fulfilling. You get what you want, and then your thoughts, you feel like, are the only rational thoughts because you're getting people to confirm them, right? But the internet...
I'm extremely liberal, as I'm sure the majority of you know. I'm an extremely liberal person, which is, you don't see a whole lot of people that are combat veterans that are, as far left libtard as I am, to use the terminology.
I don't agree with that terminology.
But at the same time, I just want people to be able to carry guns and screw who they want to screw. That's it.
Yeah, I don't think a grown up should be able to tell another grown up what they can or can't do, as long as it's not infecting or impeding the rights of somebody else.
I don't care if you want to call yourself a unicorn with a machine gun strapped to your back. Just be what you want. I don't care.
Just be a good person.
Yeah, that's exactly. I'm tired of everything getting.
But like you just
we're going to take these rights away, and that's what I wish everybody would come together on. Quit taking rights away. Let everybody be what they want to be, and be it Second Amendment, knife rights. And you start taking one, it's just a slippery slope, I think.
Come back up, Edgy.
That's a spot on, Shane. That's exactly what I was just saying. We put on that uniform to protect everybody's rights to say what they felt. Doesn't mean we gotta like it, but I want to screw Maddie. I want to see you naked in that cod piece. Are you going to bring that to Blade Show?
He does have a pretty
I really hope you bring that to Blade Show. I want to get you really liquored up and have you running around in nothing but your steel cod piece.
He'll be looking for that cod piece in the morning, won't he?
You're gonna catch
with
me
that with that walk of shame.
Sleeping, I'll be like, I thought it was my CPAP mask.
Oh, that's funny. No, but it's that I think those are good things to talk about. I mean, I don't think anybody should hide from things that offend them, like Pocket Metal. I respect him more than anything, and the way that he has a guttural response to the way that Greg's rhetoric means that it's accurate, right? Because that's the way he feels about it. So I don't. I'm not defending anybody, just their right to be.
Everyone has their right to get pissed off at anything that anyone says, and I am absolutely on the Pocket Metal side of the Medford debate.
Yeah.
Well, but at the same time, if the guy wants to talk about furries taking over the world, oh God, Doom's got a knot in his beard and wears Birkenstocks. He must be a furry trying to take over the world Kool-Aid nonsense. Then hey, whatever. That's his character.
I love my Birkenstocks, man.
I love my Birkenstocks.
You can't beat Birkenstocks.
So comfortable. It's finally getting warm enough out today. I was like, ooh, it's almost time for the Birks.
See, I wore Bostons all the time because I could wear them year round. And they get sweaty, dirty going through dead tours. But man, those things serve me well.
Doom, I got the folks from Cutlery Corner interested in the spare bedroom terry cloth micarta. What?
Hit him up.
No idea what he's talking about.
Sharp guy solid, you ought to DM him.
Oh, are you talking about the kill rag micarta? Is that what you're talking about?
I think he is.
Yeah. I think that's what he's talking about. It took me a second to, the little hamster had to spin fast enough for that wheel to get going.
My wheel doesn't get going.
That's right.
Good point, Edgy.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome to come back and pontificate, brother. I didn't mean to bring Jason in right when you were jumping on. I wasn't trying to cockblock you, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I got the kill rag micarta. It's going to take me a little while to... It's going to be expensive, man. You might be able to get like 2 or 3 knives out of it because it's going to take me like 2 to 3 years to glue together enough of those rags.
Yeah, but they will be one of a kind.
They will. They will.
You need to lighten the mood. You need to find Brant and have him come on and sing to us.
Oh, good God, I'm out.
In the Michael Myers mask.
Oh, that was a good one.
No.
See what
the shirt says? See what the shirt says?
I can't read the bottom part. A satchel of...
Thou may ingest a satchel of Richards. It's go eat a bag of dicks.
I love it. I love it.
Kyle, I haven't yet. I've been really lazy. I'll try and get it out tomorrow.
Nobody's been as lazy as me. And what was I going to give away today? I had it out here. Hold on. Oh, there it is. And I'm going to go to the giveaway tab while y'all talk amongst yourselves. Oh, I got beaver glands on this tab. I need to keep that.
No, I'll send you tracking. I've got a...
Still got the beaver glands.
Yeah, I did. I was looking at that. I agreed with that picture when I came up.
Big old blown up picture of a beaver butthole.
All right. I got to come up with a good word. Let's see. I would put that, but it'd be too polarizing, so I won't do that.
Beaver.
I think that's a good one. All right, bear with me. It's weird that you can't find this tool without going to this one link.
Josh Branson, you don't know what Birkenstocks are, man? Did anybody answer you? They're only the greatest German freaking sandals ever. I call them the Air Jesus.
They are definitely Air Jesuses.
And they last forever.
All right, guys, you know the drill. I'm a slow shipper, but I'm no slicey dicey. I've got boxes over here that are going tomorrow. Doom is actually a victim of my slow shipping, so it's not just giveaway items, and I'm a victim of my slow shipping. I've got 2 J-Cals that I showed earlier that I'm supposed to be shipping to Lancelot Leather 2 weeks ago that I haven't shipped yet. But this
I think it's just us in general. I still have people that I need to ship stuff to. I still need to ship my spare Choo Choo the Gnome off to Ian. I haven't forgotten about anybody. I know I promised Pretty Fly for a knife guy some stickers. I've got all of your information sitting in my inbox in my email. I just haven't gone to the post office.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I did. I put out that I wanted to send all the members stickers, and I've got all those email addresses, and
physical addresses, and I've labeled the envelopes. I've just got to put it all together, and hours are short, but that's not an excuse. But this is going to be the Sin-Cut Actium is going to be our giveaway knife tonight. It is like new, in box if I can find the box. I will find a box or a pouch to ship it in. To be honest with you guys, that is what is the slowest part of my shipping dilemmas, because I've got OCD and I want to find the boxes, but I never can because I've got a closet full of boxes and I've got way too many knives. But I'll put it in Mattisfaction's box. Let him keystrip.
Hey, JuhVon, do you have your camera set to mirror?
Yes. No.
Okay.
I think because I've got this is spelled backwards behind me.
Yeah. I was wondering what you did differently because the B up is backwards tonight.
Yeah. I probably put it in there wrong.
Nice. Little
Thanks,
beaver
Demon
milk. I was thinking I might pick up one of these Kubi anteaters just to check out.
That's a cool looking knife.
I know Kev's looked into it, but I mean, what other U.S. manufacturers are there out there that can make a knife for him? I know he's exhausted it and researched it, and
I have had a lot of conversations with the guys at Chapman Lake Knives,
Super
who
guys.
are amazing dudes, and they are hungry. I know they've talked to other people. I don't know if they've ever picked up any OEM gigs, but I know they were open to it because I remember I was dealing with a company, and that company in turn contacted them, and they hit me up to ask me what I thought, and I was like, go for it. So hopefully they wound up doing that. That's who I plan on once I get my one-off Doom blade from Jason. My plan is to get it in hand, see how it feels, then figure out if any changes need to be made, and then I plan to ship it over to Chapman Lake and see what they can make me, 20, 30, however many of them for, and just fund the whole project out of pocket and then turn around and sell them myself. But that's my plan.
That's an awesome plan, buddy. It's a cool knife. I can't wait to see the proto. And that blade stock is just sick, dude.
So he showed like how big's the knife going to be? Because he showed.
I can show you the knife, man. I made a full-on 3D foam model. If you want to make me big, I let the cat out of the bag on G-Ball's live stream. So, but it's very kind of arcane, designy, doomy, so on. It's exactly 9 inches tip to tip. 4.5 inches on the handle, 4.5 on the blade, and then 1/4 inch blade stock. The handles are going to be on the outer layer, are going to be purple fat carbon, and then under the purple fat carbon is going to be purple G10, and then under the purple G10 is going to be black G10, all sandwiched up against that 1/4 inch tang.
Oh God.
That
sounds so delicious.
Is that sweat? Is that top swedge? Is that going to be sharp? Are those scallops going to be sharp or?
No, these are just going to be like jimps, kind of like.
And then
I just cut them in there with a box cutter, but there's going to be like soft jimping up in here, heavy jimping up here, and then soft jimps there, and then no jimps here, and then. This area in here is all going to be not a deep hollow grind, kind of a shallow hollow grind. And then coming up to this last swedge right here is going to just come straight down and be a flat grind. And then all these swedges up in here kind of overlap one another there, and there. And then this whole tip is going to be flat ground going into the hollow grind.
Dude, that is so cool.
It is. If I drew a knife, it would just be a butter knife.
I'm sorry, what now?
If I said that's cool, because if I drew a knife, it would just look like a butter knife. I'd just take a butter knife and trace it.
Oh, dude, I started with that thing.
Have any skills?
Like I drew that thing basically with a Sharpie marker on a piece of printer paper back when I was working at the manufacturing place. I was just sitting there waiting for a test to run, and I scribbled it with a Sharpie. And then I took it home and I scribbled it a bit more and scribbled it a bit more. And then I took it and I was going to start cutting it out of metal, and I was just ruining materials because I didn't have the tools for it. And then I was talking with Sharif, and he was showing me how he did stuff with foam board, but he would just, he used like 1/4-inch thick foam board, and then kind of drew it on, and it was completely flat just to get it. So then I had the idea of gluing several sheets of foam board together and actually shaving it away and making basically a 3D model in the only way I knew how. And that's how I wound up with that. And then from that, having that there, I made that, and then I measured it all and did like a whole kind of sketch with every single dimension, like this long to this wedge, so on and so forth. And I sent that along with the video of the foam over to Jason, and he's been acquiring the parts, and he's going to bang that out. So it's going to be really cool watching that thing come together.
I just can't wait to see it. That's going to be awesome, dude. I know he won't be showing that off like he does his normal knives, but hopefully you'll send me a few pics along the way.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I asked him to. I asked him not to share that one as he's making it.
Absolutely.
That way I can kind of keep it as my thing to share when I choose to.
Guys, I see a few more people getting into the giveaway. I'm going to give it about 30 more seconds, but y'all jump in there. It's going to be for a Syncut Actium. A fantastic knife. I think it's better than the Backlash, which it looks a lot like.
Maddie, that is 100% your style. 100%.
Ed Harrison, welcome, brother. The man,
Will he
the
do
legend.
like? Are you gonna have a Kydex sheath or a leather sheath for it, or?
Yeah, did I hear that you've got your sweetie on the side now? That's awesome.
I'm going to once I have it made, I'm gonna have it sent over to Joe, and I want to have like a belt dropper, kind of like I don't want it to come up my belt. I want it to be more like this style sheath. Where's my camera? There's my camera. I want it to be like this.
Let me make you big, Dim. Hold on.
All right. I want the sheath to be like this. Yes, like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So you run your belt.
But I want the loop to be all the way up here at the handle.
Yeah.
So the belt loop will be all the way at the handle, and then maybe a snap strap that comes around the top of the handle, and then the blade all up in here.
Yeah, like
nice.
This one.
That way,
does on there.
Because I typically scout carry my fixies. Yeah, just like that. That's exactly what I'm looking for that knife. Because my scout carries are great, but that knife's gonna be pretty big and pretty heavy, and it'll wind up sagging. So I'd rather have it be a straight drop, but I also don't want the loop to be right at the belt with 4 inches of pointy handle sticking up into my muffin top.
Yeah, I carry most of mine scout or as a pocket dropper, but mine are all little knives.
Yes, Urban Woodsman is spot on. The sheath needs to hang just below the belly rolls
in a comfortable way. So do y'all have your guesses in? We've got 36 and we have 45 in here. So I'm going to give it 20 more seconds and then I'm going to draw. So I'm going to go 19, 18, 17. Then I'm going to get like Eminem, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Oh, I'm not sharing.
Let's do this. All right. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck, guys. Crewware is the best.
Who the hell is that?
Who is that? We're going to have to investigate. Who are you, Crewware? Are you in here? Congratulations, brother. Well, we got to find out who you are.
That sounds like some bullshit to me.
They're going to have to, let's see. Who is that? Maddie, help us officiate and find out if we do. Yep, he's here. Congratulations, buddy. All right, what we're going to do is I'm going to put my email address in here, and we are going to get you to send me your address, and I will do a little investigating, and I welcome you into the chat.
Is that really Kyle as well?
Huh? Congratulations, Kyle. I think it's legit, guys. I think some people come in and they're quiet and they're not really chatting a lot, and then they get in on it. And I try to give the benefit of the doubt, but I do a little back checking on the back end. So I'm going to give Crewware's the best the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, Edgy American's seen him around. Congratulations, Crewware. I don't know if you see the email there, but if you'll just send your address to kniveslive2021@gmail.com.
Kyle. Kyle says, I'm too lazy for multiple accounts. That sounds suspiciously like somebody
who has multiple accounts. And then when they go, no, it's not me, I swear to God, that's like even more.
Shit.
Bless you.
God damn, I don't know why I'm allergies.
Kyle, man, Kyle's having a rough time swapping between these tabs to keep up with the conversation.
All right, guys. We've gone over 3 hours, and I'm gonna get us out of here so we can get ready for going later into the morning with said faction. And I think we got an hour for that. So
I do love you, Kyle. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Bless you, brother.
I think I'm dying. I
muted
my camera and thing, and I just grabbed the closest thing to me, and I just sneezed into a gun rag. So I'm.
Do you guys want to peace out, everybody? I'll let you start, Scotch.
Guys, hey, thanks for having me. Sorry, don't mean to offend anybody, but I think we should be able to talk to each other and not get offended. That's the
I agree.
We're talking knives.
Yeah.
They're pocket
How
knives.
about you, Brother Beard? I'm so glad you joined us too, man.
I'm offended by all of you. we can't be friends anymore.
Oh my God.
And I am so offended by you that I cannot come back and watch enough of your content because it's so fucking entertaining, and I can take that.
JuhVon, how many uploads are you doing a week, JuhVon?
I do one a day. I set them out to go at 6 o'clock in the morning, but then I do shorts. So I'll try to do 3 shorts during the day and 1 major upload. If I get an unboxing in, I'll usually shoot it up the day I get it.
Yeah, we're Crispy Critter. Next time we talk on the phone, man, remind me to tell you the story about the gun rags, as you said there. yeah, as a medic, I dealt with athlete's foot in some very not footy places.
Note taken, Pat. I appreciate that, buddy.
But yeah, no. Hey, thanks for having me on, man. I had a great time.
Hey, dude, I appreciate all you guys. And like I say, we all have the right to be offended, but the most important thing is we're a community. So look out for the guy or gal to your left. Look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other and know that the people that have different opinions than you are your brothers and sisters. And what the world needs is more people talking about it, coming together or agreeing to disagree, but having those discords. Civil discord is what it's all about, guys. I love you all. Till we meet again.